Watched his national title hopes drift away. Last year, Miami reemerged as a national force, but wide right came back to haunt the Noles again. Today, a Heisman hopeful leads the Canes into Tallahassee, but beware a Seminole Nation in an unfamiliar role of underdog. It's Florida State and Miami next. A sold-out Doak Campbell Stadium. This afternoon, the big matchup, the #1 team in the country in to meet 13th ranked Florida State here in Tallahassee. Hi again, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler. Welcome to a great rivalry. This is the 45th matchup between these two teams that dates back 50 years. Miami leads the all-time series 24-20. They won last year as well. But consider what Florida State has done in the last 10 years. At this stadium, they are unbeaten in 54 straight games, 37 straight victories. The last time a #1 ranked team came in here, it was Florida in '96. They went home with their gator tails between their legs. Now, you don't need any extra fuel on this fire, but just in case, last night as you take a look down on the field, on the Seminole insignia at midfield, some of the University of Miami players came in for the walkthrough, took their heels and dug UM initials over that Seminole face. Now it's been repaired, but Bobby Bowden has pictures of what it looked like last night. He will no doubt show his players before they take the field. We're just about set for the national anthem. Let's go to our public address announcer, Dave Westbury.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the presentation of colors by the FSU Joint Army and Air Force ROTC Color Guard, and join in singing as Dr. Patrick Dunnigan conducts the Marching Chiefs in our national anthem.
It's been another trying week. Hopefully we can give you 3.5 hours of fun from Tallahassee on this Saturday afternoon as we head to Times Square Stadium in New York. John and Terry. Fellas.
Brad, thanks a lot. This is the ABC College Football mobile update from here in Times Square as we get you ready for Florida State against Miami. A lot of people said, wait, Florida State lost to an 0-3 North Carolina team. Miami's got to be the team to go in there and break this streak. But if you look at the record of the Miami Hurricanes opponents in the first 4 games, they have not been tested at all. In fact, if the Bowl Championship Series standings would come out today because of their strength of schedule, Miami wouldn't even be in the top 10.
Yeah, but this is still Florida State. They've won 10 or more games, 14 straight seasons, 54-game unbeaten streak at home, and they've played in the national championship 4 out of 5 of the last years.
All right, that game is coming up. It's part of a doubleheader here at 3:30 Eastern Time. Some of you will be in the Pac-10, a couple of unbeaten teams in Washington and UCLA. Others in the Big Ten.
Washington, they would have found out how good they were. Now they will today, something like that. I don't know.
I like the way, just go in the way we were doing it.
I'm just going to give it to you the same way, though.
Yeah.
All right. I wonder why that hue doesn't work for you.
Left off toward the cheerleaders in the traditional FSU cheer.
Florida's going to love that comment. I wasn't really planning on saying Swanee doesn't come in behind us, right? Okay. You got to wonder if Renegade just feels a lot better than he did 10 minutes ago. Yeah, he's going to be fast. There's no doubt about that. That's the only thing I ever knew about betting on any kind of animal. If I went to a track, if I saw that happen, there my money was.
You ran to the betting window.
Captains for the University of Miami. Number 11, Ken Dorsey. Number 13. Number 91, Matt Pellegrino. Number 4, Gavin York. Captains for Florida State, number 26, Idris Bell. Number 28, Chris Holt. Number 39, Chad Bader. Number 80, Jerome Congo.
They said Coker was really upset when he heard that.
Back at Doak Campbell Stadium, sellout crowd. The Noles about set to take the field. They've lost one game this year, and they go against an undefeated team that's #1 in the country. My partner, as always, is Bob Greasy. But, Robert, is it undefeated, untied, untested? Is that the case for the Hurricanes?
Well, they're certainly getting no respect, and the first 4 opponents' total combined record was 3-14. They're looking for some respect today. They know all about that unofficial BCS poll. They want some respect, and they want to get started here today. Ken Dorsey's going to have to be the guy that leads them. This is his 20th start. He's 18-1 as a starter. His only loss on the road last year at the University of Washington. They need him to play big today.
Well, we saw that game out in Seattle last year. That place can rattle a lot of quarterbacks. So can this place. And I think Florida State, with their young quarterbacks, just happy they got some home cooking going on.
I can't tell you how important the home field advantage is in this series. And Chris Ricks, the quarterback for Florida State, is very fortunate that this game is in Tallahassee and not in the Orange Bowl.
The defining moment for Kenny Dorsey was that touchdown drive that came from behind to beat Florida State last year. Chris Ricks told us yesterday, I want one of those kind of drives at home today. Great matchups, great players, great games. We expect the same in number 45 when we come back.
Look at the coaches. They're out there. Make sure they don't get out. Hello, testing 1, 2, 1, 2.
Well, I like our referee because it's not our normal ball. Miami 1, deferred. Florida State offense will load them. All right.
Here they come.
Hey, here they come now. Here they come.
Both coaches' staffs are out there trying to keep them warm.
They're trying to keep them from meeting at midfield, is what we expected. Miami's backing up. Florida State's not.
And it wasn't all the pomp and circumstance that it normally is.
Nope, it wasn't. Got a feeling Larry read him the riot act about let's not start it out there.
Out there trying to keep them warm.
Chief Osceola and Renegade. Both teams came about as far as the hash marks and then backed up. So we have no trouble to start the game. We have no trouble getting down to the third man on our team either. Lynn Swan. Swanee.
Well, Brad, this is a big ball game, and a lot of people like to hang their hat on statistics. Well, let me give you a couple of game facts on this unbelievable rivalry between Miami and Florida State. You'll see there, unbelievable number of things. Matter of fact, let me document when Renegade has an accident on the field, Florida State might be undefeated. But Larry Coker from Miami is not going to use stats. He's working on the mental aspect of the game. He had his Miami team watch a Florida State North Carolina football game. For those 2 or 3 people who didn't see it, the score was 41-9 in favor of North Carolina. What that has in common with this ball game is that North Carolina took it to Florida State on their home field. They had the emotional edge. Florida State is looking to have the great footing here at Doak Campbell, Brad.
All right, Swanee, and just for the record, I don't think that was an accident on Renegade's part. I think he did it on purpose, and he did it on Miami's side of the field. I think any of you that have been here know what we're talking about. Bobby Bowden just 1 win away now from tying Pop Warner on the all-time list. Miami won the toss and deferred, so Todd Severs will tee it up. Florida State will receive, and Alfonso Court and Tolman Gardner, number 21, back deep for the Noles. Florida State 3-1 and ranked 13th. Miami undefeated at 4-0 and the number 1 team in the country, their highest ranking since 1992. And remember, last year Miami thought that they should have been the team to play Oklahoma for the national championship. The guys in garnet and gold got that honor instead, and that's in the back of a lot of their minds as well. 50 years ago this series started. And we're all set on what is a pretty good day. 45th meeting. There you see it. The last time around Miami with a dramatic come-from-behind win on Ken Dorsey's 6 out of 7 scoring drive. His tight end caught the touchdown, and they won it 27-24. There was a threat of rain all week in Tallahassee. It apparently now is going to hold off until the game is over. At least that's what we're going to cross our fingers and hope for. Bobby, you're down on the field. It's a little bit warm down there.
It was very warm, and I was talking with Larry Coker, and he was saying they had a great week of practice. It was very quiet all week in all the meetings, and only a couple of mental mistakes the entire week. He says these guys are ready to play.
Miami is coming off a win over Troy State 38-7, and that dropped the opinion of this team in some people's minds because the score was not more lopsided. Well, if you would have had to take a look at the tapes of the Troy State game as we did this week, I think you'd agree that the game was a lot more lopsided, or could have been a lot more lopsided, had they kept their starters in there. But they had a chance to rest a lot of their regulars in the 3rd and 4th quarter. Florida State is well rested. They didn't play last week. Their last outing, a win over Wake Forest after they came back from their only loss of the season, the debacle against North Carolina in Chapel Hill that we saw. So now we're set. Severs has it teed up. And it's the Canes and the Noles one more time. Alfonso Thorpe's got to let it go out of the back of the end zone. And Florida State will start from its own 20-yard line. Chris Ricks will bring him out. The redshirt freshman, 838 yards and 7 touchdowns. He actually is a notch ahead of Ken Dorsey in the pass efficiency ratings in the nation. And he's got good wheels. You see the rushing yards there. He's not afraid to take off with it.
And he is ranked 6th in the nation in the pass efficiency, so he has done very well. The only blotch on his record so far was at North Carolina running the football. He put it on the ground a couple of times.
The turnovers killed him in that one. They know they can't do that against Miami today and have a chance. First play. Florida State, and it's Maddox. Dragged down after a pickup of only about a yard. Florida State offensively. Here's the big uns up front. Williams and Brown, Marambo, Holland, and Todd Williams on the other side. Joining Chris Ricks, Nick Maddox, you just saw him carry it. Chad Maters is fullback. Donaldson, the tight end. And Walker and Bell, his wide receivers. Javon Walker has become his favorite receiver so far on the season. Maddox, the tailback in the eye. And a 2nd down and 9. And here's Rick's first roll. And it's complete outside, and it is to Javon Walker. About 3 yards shy of the first down with bumping going on out there defensively for Miami. A good group up front. They Google Joseph, Walters, and Williams. 2 of those guys are 2 of their top 3 tacklers, so they don't let much by them. Williams, Vilma is their leading tackler, and Chris Campbell, the other outside backer. A secondary, 3 of those guys on the Thorpe list as the best in the country: Buchanan, Lewis, Reed, and Rump. Jonathan Vilma directing signals from his middle linebacker position. 3rd down, a long 3, and it's Ricks in the gun with 3 wide receivers. And he runs out of the pocket. He's got the first down and a lot more. Out near the 40-yard line.
That's the ace in the hole that Chris Ricks brings to this ball game that Chris Weinke never had. Weinke had the experience of being a 28-year-old senior. Ricks is a redshirt freshman, just 20 years old, and he has fresh legs. Just has to hold on to the football. He did this at Carolina, but he fumbled the ball.
Chris Weinke minus 97. Chris Ricks just added a first down run to his 134. And the only thing he got from Chris Weinke was his jersey, number 16. First down, Florida State. Here's a counter with Maddox. And he got about 2, maybe 3. James Lewis came up to make the hit from the secondary. This is a great secondary, really, that Miami has, Bob.
It's an outstanding secondary and an outstanding defensive line. Defensively in the nation, they're ranked number 9 overall. They lead the nation in turnover margin with a +9. That's 9 more takeaways than they've given it up in the first 4 games. They're aggressive.
Florida State has worked it out just inside its own 43-yard line here on its opening march. 2nd down and 7. Both wideouts to the top of your screen. They'll run it, and slipping and going down on his own actually is Maddox. And they're actually going to give him a yard, apparently. It's going to be 3rd down and 6. So this is a second 3rd down situation of this drive.
Well, the defensive lineman gets some penetration. They shove him back. Number 95, McDougal, is in the backfield, and number 61, that's Holland, who was pulling around, was back in the line with the running back space, needed to get out of the way.
Maddox actually did about a 1-arm push up there to keep from his knee going down, and they gave him progress out to the 44. 3 wideouts for Ricks. Steps up, getting some pressure this time. Goes incomplete. Dangerous pass intended for Walker, and Philip Buchanan got a hand on it. And had he held it, he would have been gone.
Good series for Ricks, the young quarterback. Here you're going to see of Walker. Buchanan, their best coverage guy by far. He's covered the whole way, but Ricks got rid of the ball. Threw it out in front of him.
That's a beautiful
It's not a bad first series for the young quarterback. He didn't get picked off. He didn't fumble the ball. He got into the ball game. He got hit a little bit.
Just a great play by Buchanan. He's back waiting. Chance Walton. He's punt. Low snap. He gets the kick away. And it bounces down near the 20-yard line. At about the 21 is where Miami will go to work. And a penalty marker flies in as they mix it up a little bit over there. And let's see what the flag's about. Our referee is Dennis Hannigan. And he'll let us know if it was just a little too chippy down there at the end of that play.
After the play was over, personal foul on the kicking team, 15-yard penalty, first down.
So the first salvo goes to Florida State. Both teams heavily penalized, it seems, in every game. Florida State picks up the first big one there. Kenny Dorsey, the junior who has grown so much since we saw him in that game. The only loss of his career at Washington on the road, and hasn't lost since. And he's obviously in the Heisman hunt. Nobody ever touches him. His jersey hasn't been dirty. He's never been sacked this year so far.
Student of the game, very bright, very intelligent, knows where everything's happening.
Portis is behind Davenport in the backfield, but it's play action for Dorsey on first down, and he comes up firing. And trying to make a diving catch is Darryl Jones, but he couldn't hold it.
Got a flag.
And another penalty marker down. Offensively, here's the buffet bashers up front. McKinney, Haji, Razuli, Romberg, Bibla, and Gonzalez.
That's one of the best in the nation right there.
That could be in the NFL for a lot of teams. They take those 5 guys. Portis behind Davenport,
Roughing
the
the
fullback,
passer
Shockey, the tight
on the
end.
defense. 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. First down.
Here's Dorsey after the throw. Oh, that costs you money in the NFL.
Exactly. Jennings, not only did he knock him down long after the ball was gone, but a helmet-to-helmet hit. One of the things that Florida State wants to do is get some hits on Dorsey. That's always the game plan defensively, is knock the quarterback down. Not like that, though.
All of Miami's yards so far have come with 2 personal fouls. Finally, they get 1 yard on their own on Davenport's carry. Up front defensively for the Noles, Emmanuel Womble, Darnell Johnson, and Charles Howard. They've been banged up on the defensive line. In the secondary, Samuels, Howard, Chris Hope is their captain back there, and Rufus Brown.
Young defense. In fact, 8 sophomore starters on that defense for the Noles.
Second down and 9. And here's Portis. Nothing doing. Jennings has got him all wrapped up. No gain. 3rd and long will be the call for Miami after we check in at Times Square Stadium in New York. John? Here's the first big play of the day for Miami. 3rd down and 9. Virtually all their yards so far have come on Florida State penalties.
Noles go to a 3-man line.
From the gun, rifled in there, incomplete. Looking for a flag was Andre Johnson. He doesn't get it.
Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator, giving Kenny Dorsey something a little bit different look at. 3-man rush, doubling the outside. You see Howard 12 inside coverage. The corner had the outside coverage. Just give him something new at the top of the game to think about.
Dominique Robinson is back deep. Freddie Capshaw to punt. Capshaw hangs it high. And beautiful
Great
play by Miami on their special teams to get down there, catching it in midair.
Great play.
Marquise Fitzgerald, one of the backup defensive backs. So it's Florida State offensively in a hole when we come back. Smo, we got both lineups out of the way, right? Okay.
All right. You're going to give me the all 22. That was a hell of a defense, a hell of a play catching that ball. You want to come back and show it? Do we have it? We didn't show it. We didn't see it. I was looking at the field. Did we get it on camera? I don't have her. Marvin didn't put her picture on my sheet here.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
And Marvin, next time, come on, put Ann Bowden on the list here, along with the booth guys in the booth. All right, just settle in now, guys. We're just easy, and we're going to have a nice game here. What is it?
There it is.
All right, that's good. I like that.
Can you hear the truck now? Well, we might be in the corner of the country, but it's the center of the football world, isn't it? Florida, Florida State, and Miami.
It's almost like old times.
Yep, exactly. That's an unusual spot for Florida State, 13.
Yes, it is. Look at this. You talk about field position. starting from your inside your own 5-yard line. That's Fitzgerald doing a great job of catching the punt.
Not easy to catch a punt that was that long with that much on it and do it like a wide receiver.
And that just doesn't happen. You have to work at that.
So Florida State basically in its own end zone. And trying to work out to get some breathing room and doing a pretty good job is Greg Jones, the bigger back of the two. Between he and Maddox, Vilma brings him down, but he got him a little more room to work. Jones had a good game the last time out against Wake Forest 2 weeks ago, as he had a couple of touchdown runs and 43 yards on his 9 carries. Second down and 6. Here they come again on the ground, and Jones has got a first down. And across the 15 to the 18-yard line. Boy, they get the running game going. That's going to help the young quarterback.
You got that right, and that's what they want to do. Watch the blocking on this side over here. The tight end, the back. Jones is going to hit right up in there. Look at the hole right in here. That's where he's going to get through. You'd like to get through it right now when it closes up a little bit. Vilma, the linebacker, gets over there, makes the play.
First down. This is the 7th run of the ball game, and this one's going nowhere. You saw that graphic that Swanee had at the top of the game about the team that runs the ball better tends to win this. 12 of the last 13 years, that's been the case so far. Florida State off to the early edge in that capacity of running the football. Ricks has had a 13-yard scamper. Jones just got a first down a moment ago. There's Jeff Bowden, the offensive coordinator for the Seminoles, looking on. He would love to get the running game going.
Oh, would he ever? Any offensive coordinator would.
Second down, 10. Let's see if Ricks goes on top here. Straight drop, fires, and tipped at the line. And Andrew Williams, I think, is the guy that got a paw in the way of that aerial from Chris Ricks.
Take a look on this side right here. 99 is Williams. Whenever the tackle throws at your feet, the defensive end knows that it's going to be a quick pass. That was a poor block by Brent Williams and a nice play by Andrew Williams.
Andrew Williams.
We got Williams and Williams.
We got some Williams out there. We got a couple offensive tackles named Williams for Florida State too, so they'll try to keep them straight for you. Florida State 41% on their third down conversions. They'll have to earn all of this one. 3rd and 10 as Ricks rolls and fires high. Well, he had a man semi-open out there. That one looked like it just got away from him.
Yeah, well, he expected the receiver to run a different route, but the receiver stopped his route and changed it. I like this. Get outside the pocket from the end zone camera. Take some pressure off Ricks, get him outside. He expected the receiver to keep going to the deep outside, and he just hooked up. The first 12 plays, 8 were runs, 4 were passes for the Seminoles.
Waltney is set to punt. He's had 1 block this year, and he's got another one blocked, and Miami touchdown. And it's Fitzgerald. Marquise Fitzgerald with a touchdown. Waltney bobbled the snap, and then it was all over.
We talked about turnovers deciding games. Fitzgerald has been everywhere for this team. He is not a starting corner. He has 2 sacks. He almost leads the team in tackles. Look at this, right in your hands.
Edward Reed blocked it, Bob.
That's just nerves right there. That's a very aggressive special teams. That's the 4th touchdown. That's the 4th non-offensive touchdown for the Hurricanes. 2 on special teams and 2 by their defense.
Todd Severs adds the extra point. Miami hasn't had to do anything offensively. Their special teams come through. They lead by 7.
You got a shot of that from the end zone, Steve? Let me see that shot from the end zone. Let me see that. Run it back. Let me see it again. Let me draw this up. This is good enough to draw. Go ahead and run it one more time. Yeah, let's show that where he came from.
That's good.
Who was that, Reed?
Yeah, Reed.
Yeah.
That's 2 huge plays by Fitzgerald.
Yeah. Always say that. Yeah. They always say that. They talk about special teams and turnovers. It's a lot of it's true. A lot of times it's true.
You should listen to me. You'd hear that.
Go back and take a look. Miami was coming after this one. Here is Reed right here. He's going to loop and come right up the center. See him moving? Comes right up the middle. Untouched right there. Makes the block. Big play for the Hurricanes. Special team scores first.
There was nothing wrong with the snap. It was right where it needed to be.
That Miami had him backed up, and that was a punt block. Sometimes you want to get a return going, but anytime you have somebody looping like that, coming right up the middle, they were going for the block.
Miami scores first. They don't lose much. And now Severs will kick it off. And last time he knocked it out of the end zone. There's another of those statistics Swanee was talking about. The team that scores first has won 13 of the last 14 in this matchup. Out of the end zone again. So Florida State will have to work from the 20-yard line. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Sears, only Sears has the brands you want at the prices you need. Sears, where else? Monster.com, who reminds you, job good, life good. And Valvoline's Max Life, the first motor oil formulated for higher mileage engines. First down from the 20 for Florida State. Trailing now by 7. Position they didn't want to get in. Here's a play action. And Ricks will keep it. And Chris gets across the 25 and close to a first down. Got about 8, maybe 9.
And outside the pocket, first down, 2 receivers. Both were covered. Did a nice job to pick up 7, 8, 9 yards. And avoid the loss of yardage.
Well, he's got a nice rip in his elbow from that 9-yard gain.
Yeah, they'll have to get him out of the game if they see that he's bleeding.
Chevy Trucks first and 10 marker is just about a yard away, as you can see, right at the 30-yard line. And Ricks now changing things up at the line. On second and short, Maddox, first down. Maddox cuts out and got about 6, maybe 7. James Lewis brought him down.
Florida State doing some nice running on the left side. Brent Williams doing a nice job on that side. The tight end getting the block. If Florida State can run the football, that's going to open things up for Chris Ricks down the field.
Everything they've done so far has been on the ground at the 36-yard line. Here's the play fake. Rick slipped a little, stepping up in the pocket, and the overshot Javon Walker on a crossing pattern. 7:32 remaining first quarter. Let's head to New York for an update, John. Oh, he asked me that one in the meeting last night.
I want to tell you something about that
I'll
game. Oh, Boilermaker is coming back.
Yeah, we talked about that last night. That's good, John.
Yeah.
7-0 here. Miami in front of Florida State. Second down and 10 for the Noles. Just outside the 35. Ricks wants to throw a screen. Miami's all over that. And Ricks is going to take a big shot. The ball is loose, and Miami's got it again. Scooped up by Chris Campbell.
Young players only his 5th start. Chris Ricks, a 20-year-old, playing for the first time this year. He did this 2 weeks ago up in North Carolina. When the play is over, get down. He's trying to make too much out of something. This was a screen, it blows up. Now what do I do, Coach? You're not here, I gotta do something myself. Just put the ball away and get down and take a negative play and come back. You try to do too much with a busted play.
And really, he lost the handle on that one himself. I don't think anybody poked it out of there. He just tried to do too much, and it squirted out, and Chris Campbell recovered it.
And just get down.
So Miami gets another gift. Dorsey, play fake, wants it all. Going to the end zone, touchdown! Right in stride to Andre Johnson.
Great call. Just a great call. Rod Chapczynski, the offensive coordinator. Turnover, go for the jugular.
Perfectly thrown ball to Johnson, 27-yard touchdown. The 2-touchdown hole that nobody that's a Seminole fan wanted to see is about to happen as Severs comes in for the point after. 2 big plays by Miami. One, their special teams, then their defense, and then finally their offense with this one.
Turnover, quarterback get outside the pocket. Here's Johnson. He's just going to run a deep post into the end zone. Samuels on the coverage. Man-to-man, look at all the room to the middle of the field. Throws it over Samuel's head. That's a great throw. He had to throw that before. Watch this right here. He's going to go around him. He can't get inside, so he goes on top, and the ball is thrown to the back of the end zone. That's just good play.
Samuels looked like he had good coverage for a second, then he sort of lost it when he made his turn, and that's all Johnson needed.
But most of the time you run that play, that receiver will go inside of the defensive back. But Samuels had such good coverage on the inside. Johnson went over the top. Dorsey put it over there.
14-0 Miami. Swanee, this isn't what Florida State had planned.
It's not what they had planned, but give Johnson credit for making that adjustment on the run. One of the best things about that route you're talking about, he was covered to the inside, but because he made his break early and not deep in the pattern, he had time to make that kind of adjustment. That is a smart, experienced receiver adjusting in the course of the game. It's an opportunity he gave his quarterback. He took advantage of it at that moment, because every game will give you unexpected opportunities.
Miami has 2 touchdowns. Special teams got 1. The defense set up the other, and all the offense did was make a great call at a certain time. When you have a turnover, you want to go for the jugular, especially when you're that close to the end zone.
That's what I was saying. 3 plays is the difference between 14 and nothing. 3 touchbacks now on Severs kickoffs. And Mickey Andrews talking to his cornerback. Mickey, the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, and Ricks is this is not good. This has gotten not good at start for Chris Ricks. This is a tough defense he's playing against. The Miami Hurricanes, we mentioned, they're one of the best teams in the country. They like to take the ball away. They're very aggressive. You're going to have a lot of negative plays, and you're going to have to punt the ball. And your mindset for a young quarterback is, it's all right. If we have to punt it, that's all right.
4 drives they've had. 3 have started at the 20 and 1 inside the 5. Here from the 20 is a big opener, though, for Jones, and he's still on his feet. Greg Jones across the 40. 23-yard run for Jones, and that gets the crowd into a little bit for the Noles.
Seminoles are running the ball as well as they have all year here early in the first quarter. Look at the blocking up inside. Marambo, Holland, and Brown on the inside of that defensive line for the Hurricanes.
Jeff Bowden looking on, as we said, liking what he's seen from his running game. It's a passing game that's got to get going. And they'll keep it on the ground at Jones again. This time Miami stretches it out. He got only about a yard. Vilma was out there defensively along with Campbell, the outside linebacker, and Lewis from the secondary. 3 guys that can cover a lot of ground in a hurry. Miami's starting to look like those Miami defenses of Jimmy Johnson. At least that's what Bobby says, more than Butch Davis's team.
Very aggressive, and what he meant by that was he just lets the front 4 do the work and rush the passer. Butch Davis over the years had gotten into a point where he would blitz a little bit more, and Jimmy wouldn't do that. Jimmy would rush 4 and play 2 deep zone and help on the outside.
Florida State's got 65 yards on the ground so far, but they need some aerial yards here from the 45 as Ricks. And again, he's pressured, and again he goes down. They'll sack him. A loss of a couple. Vince Wilfork is one of the guys there. It's been a tough start for number 16.
Chris Wilfork, number 75, is just a huge, true freshman in the center of that line. Right there, Wilfork, number 75. He's
down to 346. They told us.
He's ordered a few cheeseburgers at halftime.
He's a big one. As you can see, he fills up our screen pretty well.
They've had some outstanding defensive linemen here at the University of Miami, and this kid, if he's a true freshman and he's playing with all those other guys, he must be pretty good.
Low snap and a whistle stops play. Trues Bell may have called timeout, I think.
Timeout, Florida State. That is their first timeout of the half.
And that's the call. So Chris Ricks will have a chance to talk things over on the sideline with 5:17 to go first quarter.
I'd like to see us just come out and, you know, not think about rankings or numbers or anything, and just play FSU football and come out and just, you know, put points on the board early and keep driving and not be intimidated by their defense and how they rank in the nation, because they are up there in pretty much every category. And, you know, I'm pretty confident that our defense will show up. You know, a lot of guys are from Miami, and they're really excited to be playing in this game.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what I can say. Anyway, we can bail out of that at the end of they're up there in every defensive category. Because then he starts talking about the defense. You know what I'm saying? All right. Okay. So another 3rd and long situation for Florida State as they trail by 2 touchdowns. Nick Maddox is a slot man, is an extra receiver, and he'll be in motion on 3rd down and 11. Ricks wants to throw a screen. It's a slip screen to Javon Walker, his wide receiver, but he only got to the 45-yard line. It's about a 2-yard pickup.
Timing was bad, very bad on that play. All the linemen saw it and got back out in it. Need to be quicker. That timing has to be much better on that screen.
Ricks comes out of the punting team, comes back on the field, and Chance Gwaltney doesn't want to take a chance of dropping another snap because that cost 7 the last time he bobbled. This time he doesn't, and he kicks a beauty. Buchanan backs up. In fact, this one might be too good. It is. It goes all the way to the end zone. Touchback. And so Miami will be working from the 20-yard line with a 2-touchdown lead when we get back from Times Square Stadium in New York. And John Saunders. ACC is pretty wacky right now. Maryland on top of the heap after their Thursday night win over Georgia Tech. Florida State's already lost one in the conference. Dorsey wide open at the 35 is Daryl Jones, and he's got tremendous track speed all the way down to the Florida State 47-yard line. And now Miami's feeling it. Everything's going right for them, so they can pull the cork a little bit and try to open it up.
I like that, partner. I like your description. Miami has played the Seminoles a lot. They know what their strengths and their weaknesses are, and they come right out after them. They know they want to stop the run. They got 8 up against the run. There's a square in. Jones takes it and heads back to the outside. That's a nice call. Two passes on first down the last 2 series for Miami.
Jones, part of the 4x100 Big East Relay champions at Miami, so you know he can motor. And 4:32 remaining in the first quarter. There's first-year head coach Larry Coker, who waited 22 seasons to become a head coach. And has he got a good football team to work with?
Oh, boy.
Nice way to make the debut.
Yeah.
Our Pacific Life game summary so far through most of the first quarter. A block punt by Edward Reed, scooped up by Marquise Fitzgerald for a touchdown. And then a forced fumble led to a quick score. Dorsey to his wide receiver. And Chris Ricks so far has been rattled and knocked down. 2 out of 6 is all. He's been sacked twice.
That fumble that Ricks had earlier in the ball game. Miami leads the nation. That was their 10th fumble, caused fumble by Miami. That leads the nation.
This guy's good, number 11, and he's just getting better every week.
And he's just so calm about it. He's just very intelligent, very cerebral, knows what's going on, and he has the ability and the physical talents to do something with it. And he's got some pretty good players around him. That offensive line, probably the best around. The receivers, we haven't even talked about the tight end, probably the best receiving tight end, Jeremy Shockey. You'll what to find in the country.
Wouldn't shock me if we see him pretty soon here, too. First down. They'll go on the ground to Portis. Portis is brought down by Stanford Samuels after a gain of a couple. Portis has been a heck of a back for him, a Doak Walker candidate. He's their leading rusher, coming in 4 touchdowns, 364 yards on the ground.
Florida State has their backup defensive line in there, but their first group of linebackers, Mickey Andrews wants to keep those linemen fresh.
Second down and 8. The Canes inside the Noles 45. Dorsey's got a man out in the flat, swings it out to Portis. Florida State's there to meet him. Jennings met him head on. What a hit at about the 42-yard line.
This defense for the Noles is not chopped liver. They don't have the players that they've had in the past because a lot of them are young, but these are young players that are going to be good in a year or 2.
I think Jennings got the worst of that battle. It was his helmet that made contact.
There he is right here, number 44.
He's woozy right now after this hit. Watch it.
That's back inside Portis.
Boom, right there.
Oh, I bet that looks like a stinger.
Yeah, it does. Got it right between the helmet and the shoulder.
Yep.
Collarbone, rather. And he's being helped finally. He didn't want to come off. The trainers wouldn't take no for an answer. He's finally walking over here.
He's from Carroll City High School in Miami, and he's playing against Ethnic Sands and several Carroll City High School players on both teams. I guess just one on Miami. A lot of them on the Seminoles. I think there are 19 players from high school players from South Florida on both of these 2 teams.
A third down coming up and a short 5. Ajay Davenport is a single setback behind Dorsey, and now he'll empty that backfield. Dorsey to throw. Quick drop over the middle. First down inside the 35 is Andre Johnson. Pickup of 8 on a 3rd and 5.
Just nice, crisp execution by Miami. You empty the backfield so you're not going to run. He's on the outside, number 5, I'm sorry, Johnson coming down the line. Dorsey has the option to throw to him if the linebackers lay off, and if they come up to cover him, he's going to throw it right over their heads. Nice play.
And Dorsey looked back. One of the things you're always afraid about with Dorsey is that he'll roll out to one side, but he'll look back across the field and the arm to make the throw.
And he's got the height to see where he's going with it. They'll go with Portis here. No gain on the play. Michael Boulware in on the tackle along with Kendall Pope. And now flags fly in late. There's been a little pushing and shoving after about every play.
Yeah, you know there's some talking going on, too.
I think the officials just got fed up with it here.
play was over. Personal foul on the offense. 15-yard penalty. It will be second down.
That's our third personal foul, 2 against Florida State. Now that one goes against Miami.
Well, both of these teams, and I would say, I would guess it's on Williams, number 80.
I would too.
Because I don't think Larry's talking to him about how your day's going. I was going to say both of these teams are the most penalized teams in their respective conferences.
Miami averages about 107 yards of penalties a game, and Florida State is just under 100.
A little pushing and shoving after the play, and those officials are not going to let that get out of hand.
So it's second down and 25 now. And the ball is loose. Who comes up with this one? Florida State thinks they've got it. No official signal yet. Dorsey never got the handle on the snap, and the Noles have it.
And this is what the Noles need. They need a break of some kind. And Coker's saying this is just not what we didn't need to do right here.
Kendall Pope lost his hat in the melee. He wants it back. Florida State's got the ball back with this one.
He wasn't ready for the snap. He was looking around. Rumberg snapped the ball before the quarterback was ready for it. Either one of the two forgot the snap count.
Bradley Jennings, who was called for a personal foul early in the quarter and then went out, shaken up a couple plays ago, is the guy that got the fumble recovery.
Now what happens there is one of the two forgot the snap count. It looked like Dorsey was looking around, checking on the movement, maybe checking off, and Romberg just snapped the ball. So one of the two guys snapped, either Romberg snapped it earlier, Dorsey didn't expect it that early.
So the Noles in hurricane territory for the first time today at the 47. Low snap, Ricks from the gun. Chris pumps once, goes down the middle, incomplete. And he still can't find a rhythm.
You're right. It's a good word for it. He's not in rhythm. I thought early on when he was scrambling a little bit, picked up a first down, but you're not going to be in rhythm against this Hurricane defense. They're just too tough. And like I said, you're going to have the ball 12, 14 times a game, and you're going to realize, hey, we're probably going to punt like 10 of those times. And it's okay to punt. Our defense may get us a score, and we'll score on the other 4 or 5 times. So don't try to make perfect plays out of every drive.
Penalty marker thrown.
Dead ball, illegal substitution on the offense, 5-yard penalty.
Now just when Florida State had it in Miami territory, they end up back on their side of the field. Illegal substitution.
Probably just checking it, see what's going on, how you doing on offense. One of Ricks's problems is he's looking for Javon Walker all the time. In fact, 6 of the 7 passes that he's thrown has been in his direction.
Can't get one-dimensional with number 80 as your only guy in your sights. He's got 3 wideouts right now, including Thorpe, the freshman. And here's the counter with Nick Maddox going the other way. Positive yardage for Maddox. He won't go down until he gets to the 44-yard line. James Lewis made the tackle, but give Nick Maddox 8 yards.
Good misdirection. Start to the left side and come back with it. Well, we got the linebackers going that way. Now we come back, but Lewis, 23, the safety, saw it all the way and was there to help the defensive lineman.
Now a 3rd down again. 3rd and 7. Ricks looking for something to go right from that shotgun. Let's see if they can find a receiver this time. They come with a blitz. Over the middle, and the overshot is intended receiver Tallman Gardner.
Yeah, you can't miss that one. You've been struggling. It's a 3rd down play. You had it wide open. You just can't miss that one. These are things that young quarterbacks, mistakes that they make. You had a perfect lane. There was no pressure. He was wide open. You got to hit that one. That's what you go through when you break in new quarterbacks. That's the difference between a redshirt freshman and a 5th-year senior who wins the Heisman Trophy.
That's right.
That would have been completed and he'd still been running.
Gwaltney kicks it too far again. Somebody's got to get the governor on Gwaltney's leg backed up a little bit. After he fumbled that snap and had one blocked, he's not doing much for their field position right now. Let's check in Times Square Stadium in New York again. John Saunders. John. Citrus State rivalry. Miami and Florida State, and the Canes ranked #1, leading 14-0. They again work from the 20. Here's a stretch play to Portis. Florida State comes up. Pope made the first hit. A reminder, at the conclusion of today's game, we'll select a Chevrolet player of the game. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Lynn Swan, and our ABC crew in Tallahassee, Florida at Doak Campbell Stadium. Sold out to the rafters, but right now, for the hometown Seminole fans, they're not enjoying what they're seeing. They're down 2 touchdowns. Second, a long 9. They'll keep it on the ground again. This is Davenport, and he only got a couple. Kendall Pope's made the last 2 tackles. He's a rangy outside linebacker. He backed up Tommy Polley last year and was one of the top tacklers that was a reserve, and he's going to be a good one. Coming up next, most of you will see a great Pac-10 matchup. Washington and UCLA. Some of you will see Wisconsin and Ohio State. All coming up next on ABC Sports. Coming up next for us is a 3rd and 7 for Miami. Dorsey has fumbled a snap today. Other than that, he's been pretty flawless. Back to throw. Complete. First down. Flags fly in from the secondary. Ethnic Sands made the grab, but again, the penalty marker came from the field judge, I think, way back here.
I think we get offensive interference.
I think you're right, partner.
Yep.
You are. So that'll negate a first down throw.
Johnson is number 5. That wasn't it. Sands was on the outside. I don't know.
I don't know where it came from. Sands was wide open. Didn't look like it would have been him.
Pass interference on the offense. Penalty is half the distance to the goal.
Tell you what, Florida State's defense will take it, whoever it was on.
Yeah. Johnson kind of threw his whole hands, palms up, says, well, is that on me? You know.
So back they walk inside the 10. Larry Coker is not too pleased with the call. Actually, they're going to spot it now out near the 12. That was half the distance. Swanee.
Bob Brad, I think the penalty is what they're referring to as a pick play. The inside receiver came in, and that was Andre Johnson, set up on the defensive back and actually blocked him, allowing the Ethnic Sands to come open on the outside. That's illegal.
All right. Swanee used to do that for Stallworth.
They didn't have to do that.
High snap on the ground. This is Kendall Pope again.
Kendall Pope is a special player. He leads, not only leads him in sacks, but he leads him in interceptions and tackles. He had 2 interceptions last week against Wake Forest.
ABC Sports presentation of college football will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Canes by 2 touchdowns at the end of 1. Pat, try to pull these back a little bit with you. We have to stand up. Yep, he's here.
That's what you do to keep. That's what I do to keep you straight. Well, you got a little experience prior to being in here doing that.
We're going to turn around and talk back here, guys, when we get going. Yes. And can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Yep. All right. Trying. Grease, you're about there. Governor, you're right about in the middle there if you can get in there.
All
Otherwise,
right.
we'll never get in the same shot.
All right.
You're going to have to tell us. We don't have a monitor.
Whew.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Well, I tell you, more things you can do.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
He sounds better than we do. Yeah, I know that.
How about like this?
I don't like that. I don't like that.
This step drives me nuts every year, Coach. Just relax.
Like this?
There you go.
I like that. Oh, boy.
Deep for the Seminoles, number 31, Dominic Robinson.
Set to start the second quarter. 14-0. Miami leads Florida State. We welcome you back to Tallahassee. We've got a special guest in the booth with us, the governor of Florida, Jeb Bush. I noticed you just got Florida USA. That way you don't have to play favorites in this game, right?
Well, it's also our largest industry, making sure people come down to our state, and a lot of people have for this game.
Governor, good game so far. You live here in town. They're not going too well for the Noles.
But I'm from Miami.
See, that's a politician right there. You know, obviously with the things that have gone on in the last month and more this week, your brother and everybody else has said you got to get out, you got to do the things, and it's good to see you're out at a football game.
Well, this is the football capital of the world. I think we have the best high school football, and we have the best college football. We may even have the best pro football this year as well. So this is a great way for us to get back to normalcy.
And there comes a time where you have to have 3.5 hours of fun. That's what we're trying to do out here.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you coming by.
Governor, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
Okay.
Jeb Bush, the governor of Florida. And a punt coming up by the Canes. It'll be fielded at the 40. Coming to the near side, we're going to have an illegal block on the punt return. That will not help the field position for Florida State, but they do get the football back.
Well, they are after each other in there now. There was a flag thrown, and one of the guys got up and went hit another guy. They're not holding anything back.
No,
Let's put it that way.
There's the illegal block. Nice to have the governor join us. We had his dad, the Texas A&M game.
Right.
Jeb here in this one.
During the return, 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. First down.
Miami with an injured player. Chris Harvey, the long snapper, is the guy that got tangled up there.
Yeah.
And that could have a major impact on the Miami special teams before this one's all over. So we'll keep an eye on that one. So with the penalty, backed up to the 29-yard line.
This may be Florida State's best field position, other than that time when they got the fumble recovery. They didn't do anything with that either.
They did nothing with that one. They're forced to punt virtually from the same spot. They recovered the fumble. Ricks from the gun with 4 wide receivers. He just got to find a way to find a target. And this one's tipped and almost picked off. He's had 2 batted down, 3 actually if you count the great defensive play made by Buchanan on that one crossing pattern.
This is knocked down by the defensive lineman at the top of the screen. Oh, that was a linebacker.
That
was
was
it?
Vilma.
Vilma. Nice job by Vilma. This all factors into a young quarterback. You got to get it past. You got to throw it over people. You got to expect that they might jump a little bit.
Fans at Doak Campbell just waiting for something to go right for the offense. Here's a quarterback draw. Maybe this is it. Ricks. Well, if you can't do it with your arm, do it with your legs.
He's picked up 2 first downs with his legs. And I think that's good to get him into the ball game because he's not doing it with his arm.
He's been their leading rusher before in a game this year.
Watch this right up the middle. Look at that. It's just huge. The lane that he has. The middle linebackers are going off covering other people.
Still no score for Florida State here, and Miami hasn't allowed a second quarter point all year. Ricks with 26 on the ground. Waits this time, throws behind Thorpe, his intended receiver.
Just a little bit off, and this is the frustration that you go through as coaches and as receivers when you break in a new quarterback. This is not easy for Chris Winkie. If he were here last year in his Heisman Trophy year, it wasn't easy going up against the University of Miami. These guys, this is a good defense.
It's a good defensive, Bob, and the corners and safeties are playing extremely well. What I don't like, in terms of what I'm saying, is there's no separation between the receivers and the defensive backs. These receivers aren't giving Ricks a good target to throw at.
2nd and 10. They throw the screen outside Walker. There's a flag down as Walker gets to midfield. The ball comes loose at the end.
It's probably going to be offensive holding because that was thrown by the umpire right into the to the offensive line.
Matt Walters, number 91, the defensive tackle, is the guy that's motioning that it's holding, so maybe he was the one that was held. There's the call. 5 penalties on Florida State now. So the Seminoles not doing themselves any favors with the penalties today, on top of the other miscues, including a block punt for a touchdown.
Holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Repeat 2nd down.
Well, here's the hold. The defensive lineman is just going to make a game, come around this side right here. Can't tell which one it is, but the hold is right there. That's called a tackle.
And that's on Walters.
Walters did a nice job with a little move up the middle.
Greg Jones checks in as the tailback for Florida State now. On a 2nd down and 21. He'll get the call. Jones lowers his pads and takes the tackler with him, Jamal Green. Florida and Auburn playing on ESPN tonight. That should be a dandy. See some of the other games that will start later on. Most of you will be seeing number 7 against number 8 when Washington and UCLA get together out on the West Coast. Keith and Tim will have that one. Brent Gary will have the Wisconsin-Ohio State game. Some of you will see that one. 3rd down here and 15. Nice play fake. Now is he going to have time? Rick steps up, throws in and out of the hands of Walker. It's intercepted. Picked off by Reed. And Edward Reed going the other way.
How good is this kid Reed? He's one of the leaders of the ball club. He's a 5th-year senior. Got him going last week after the first half, a slow first half against Troy State. His 15th interception of the year, of his career.
And he blocked the punt earlier in the game.
Yeah. He's around for the tip ball. Reed is out back down here, just keeping his eyes open.
His 3rd pick of the year. Against Troy State, he took one for a touchdown. This one, I thought he was going to actually get loose too.
Yeah. He's returned 3 interceptions for touchdowns in his career.
Does Miami go for the throat again after the turnover?
No question.
1st down at the Florida State 36. Dorsey, long ball, got him there. All the way to the 1-yard line. Andre Johnson. You could just smell it coming.
Oh, sure. Whenever you get a turnover inside the other team's 50 or 40-yard line, this is right what you want to do. Down the sideline, he beat Samuels. Didn't get in the end zone, but it's on like the 2-yard line.
Actually put it just on the 1. They score in a hurry.
Rob Chudzinski learned this from Coker, who was the offensive coordinator the last 5-6 years.
Portis behind Davenport in the backfield. He'll get the call. And did he get there? Not quite. Bradley Jennings, the linebacker, made sure, was holding on for dear life. Portis was stretching and stretching and didn't quite get there. They put it down at about the 1-foot line.
It's a game of turnovers. That's why you hear coaches talk about it all the time. Special teams and turnovers. This is the 2nd turnover for the Hurricanes that they're looks like they're going to score on.
2nd and goal for the Canes of the Florida State 1. Najee Davenport. Still not there. Jennings again, one of the guys in the bottom of the pile.
This Florida State defense, they may be young, but they are talented. They've been hurt in the defensive line with a lot of injuries. Eric Powell, Alonzo Jackson is not there. Chris Woods, Brian Ross. A lot of the guys that would be playing aren't playing. Bobby said we're playing our depth in that defensive line right now.
If I got a 6'5" quarterback, I tell him to lean heavy here. Third down, about a foot. They'll hand it off. Portis. No. Florida State holds on 3 downs. Now what do you do?
Well, last year I was talking to Larry Coker before the game. I said last year you didn't have to make these tough decisions, 4th and 1, whether to go for it. It's hard for the line judge on either end to see into the middle when you can't see past the lineman. This is a better shot. Sometimes the umpire right there can tell when the linesman can't, but the umpire does not make the call.
How big has Bradley Jennings been on those 3 downs? 4th and goal. McGahee. Play action. Dorsey to the end zone. Wide open. Touchdown, Shockey. There's the tight end Bob was talking about earlier.
Great call. Nice call. You got to have confidence in your players. You got to have confidence in your quarterback to call that play and your offensive line. Watch Shockey, number 88. All the Seminoles think it's going to be a run for the 4th play in a row. And when you trust your quarterback and you trust your receiver, that's what happens.
Seaver's extra point is good. It took him 4 cracks. And off the play fake, it was Dorsey to his favorite target. A wide open tight end. It's 21-0 Miami.
Win. Huh? You baked them?
She ain't over yet. Normally I'd say it is, but not with these guys. Not right now, thanks.
Have some more water. Is that his first catch?
Yep.
Shockey?
Yep.
Thought it was. See that drive chart.
Shockey with his first catch of the day and his 3rd touchdown catch of the year.
Shockey kind of gets irritated. He says, Dorsey, throw me the ball. I was open. Of course, every receiver says they're open. But Shockey, you were open that time.
Yes, he was. A Nissan Drive summary, only 36 yards again following Ed Reed's interception. So they're making turnovers count today. A block punt, a fumble recovery, and a quick strike. Then a long ball off an interception. And 4 plays later, Dorsey to his tight end. That's where we are at 21-0.
All of Miami's scoring has come off of turnovers. The punt for the touchdown, and then the 2 turnovers led to touchdowns in short field position.
Seaver's set to kick. And a squib. It takes a good bounce to Thorpe at about the 8-yard line. And Thorpe gets only to the 25. 26 actually is where they're going to spot him. Kellen Winslow's youngster down there to make the tackle on the special teams.
You got wide receivers on kickoff coverage team making tackles. Swanee, were you ever on a...
Swanee's going to say he's only a punt returner.
Come on, no.
Now, do you know how to make tackles, Swanee?
I will tell you, at USC, I covered punts. I returned punts at USC and Pittsburgh. And a couple of times, I remember there was a guy who didn't go in the ball game. Head was in the ball game. I ran onto the field, and I covered on the punt team.
That's what I like about you, Swanee. You're a team player.
There we go.
Now, if we could just get you to show up to the meetings on time. 1st and 10. Ricks.
I like that.
In trouble, and down he goes. William Joseph drops him, another sack. There has not been one right thing for Chris Ricks today except what he's done on the ground. And there's the snapper, Harvey, the sophomore long snapper. Joe Fonagrassi now is going to have to be their long snapper today. It looks like his day's done, Lynn.
Well, his day is done. They're going to take him in. He's got a sprained knee, but they said they don't anticipate he'll come back. And you may have noticed Clinton Portis was helped off in that last offensive drive. He took a good shot to the head. They were working on his reflexes, making sure he was okay. So keep an eye out for number 28 when the Miami offense gets back on the field.
That's why McGahee was in there on that 4th down. Then Ricks back to throw down the middle, in and out of the hands of Atruz Bell. Would not have been a first down, but it would have picked up decent yardage. Let's check in Times Square Stadium in New York and John. We had a Marquise player here today, too. Marquise Fitzgerald.
We have. He's been all over the place.
Scored a touchdown off a block punt. 3rd down, 12. Ricks getting some heat. Back across the middle, John Walker, and finally they hook up. And it's a first down. And that was some kind of throw.
That was dangerous. That was a dangerous throw that sometimes you get away with. They're going to coach him not to do this anymore. Outside the pocket, he's rolling to his right. He throws back into the middle of the field. Oh my goodness, over a defensive guy. One in front, one in back, but it works. So good job, Chris, good job.
He put some Zuzu on that one, I'm telling you. Back across his body, a pickup of 24. He had missed his last 6 attempts.
That's what the coach says. No. Yeah,
yes.
Good job.
So a first down. And Ricks goes complete. Maybe that's what he needed to get him started. Atruz Bell trying to break tackles. He's got a first down. So there's his 2 main guys, Walker and Bell.
They're the 2 big play guys. Talking to Randy Shannon, the defensive coordinator for Miami. He says they want to get the ball down the field. They're looking for big plays all the time, and the 2 guys are Bell and Walker.
This game's not without precedent. Remember, the only time in the last 54 games that Florida State was even tied here, the Florida Gators got a big lead and they had to dig themselves out of a hole. Well, they've dug themselves a big one today. We'll see if they can work their way out of it. 21 down. Ricks on the run, trying to hold on to the football. Got to the 38-yard line. A pickup of 6. Rambo telling him, just follow me when you want to take off. I'll lead the way.
There's a look from behind the defense of Miami. You can see the defensive linemen spread out over here and over there. A little twist in the middle. Just if he could have gotten past the one defensive lineman, could have had some running room.
Deepest penetration into Miami territory for the Noles at the 33-yard line. Only the 4th time they've been on their side of the field. Oh, Jones just got pasted by Campbell. Chris Campbell, the outside linebacker.
Campbell's a 3-year starter and is kind of gets pushed aside. Everybody talks about him because of all of the speed and quickness and talent around him. 23 as a safety blitz. That's Lewis. Campbell in the backfield on a blitz. They said, all right, you're getting far enough down in our territory. We're going to start blitzing you.
Mount Pleasant, Texas, the hometown of Campbell, who gets a breather and a quick drink on a 3rd down and 7 coming up for Florida State. So the nickel defense is in there. And timeout taken by Florida State. They were running out of time and shifting guys all over the place. So they don't want to waste this opportunity. 7:47 remaining first half. Top-ranked Miami all over the Seminoles right now. Yeah, baby. Well, that's a good one. I think they ought to have to pay double for that. You wouldn't even have had to watch the game to get that whole summary right there. You can just turn it on just for that.
Right.
Yep. All right. All right. What else we got to pop in here, Smo? We got billboards. What else? Anything else? Okay. Our Pacific Life game summary in this one so far. Chance Waltney mishandled a snap blocked by Edward Reed. Marquise Fitzgerald on the block punt for the touchdown. And then after another fumble recovery, one play, Dorsey to Andre Johnson for a score. Chris Ricks throwing to Javon Walker, tipped, and Edward Reed at his third pick of the year. It led to a long ball to Johnson. And then finally on 4th and goal, it was Dorsey off the play action to his favorite target, Jeremy Shockey. That's where we are, 21-0 with 7:47 remaining at Doak Campbell Stadium in the first half. 7th play of the Florida State drive, and they've got a 3rd down and 7. Chris Ricks with time. Now on the run. He's going to keep it. He got a nice block, but he didn't get a first down. Whoa! Taking him all the way out of bounds. They're going to get a first down now. Vilma tackled him over by the bleachers.
I didn't see a flag, though.
Oh, yeah. I think it came flying in there, didn't it?
All right.
If it didn't, somebody ought to throw one from the stands. Ricks ended up about 12 yards out of bounds. Let's take another look. There you go.
Well, he didn't do much. Well, I guess he fell on top of him.
You got to play between the stripes, though. You can't bring it this far
It looked
over
like
here.
Vilma was trying to hold him up, and then everything went down. But
so the personal fouls are even now at 2 apiece.
you got to know, as a defensive player, that the officials are looking for something. When you get close to the sideline and there's a quarterback involved, just get away.
Especially when you're in this rivalry.
Oh, yes. Good point.
So now it's a first down. Florida State trying to get something working. Not to the red zone yet, but they're close at the 23-yard line. Ricks takes the pitch, trying to get rid of it. Penalty markers down. Might be a face mask. Ricks was running for his life. There's flags in the secondary and the backfield. I don't know, it might be double penalties. Might have pass interference, face mask,
They may get him for intentional grounding.
Those flags from the secondary were thrown before he threw the ball, I thought.
They definitely got a face mask.
It's 2 of them, holding and face mask.
That's McDougal, 95.
Ouch.
Oh, that's
a bad one.
That's a 15-yard variety there.
Now back-to-back penalties.
On the play, holding on the defense. The penalty will be declined. Personal foul, face mask on the defense. 15-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. First down.
So there's 33 yards from Miami in the last couple of plays.
Right. And that helps an offense. It's almost like a boost. It's like it's a get out of jail free card. it helps you move down the field. It says, hey, if they're going to help us, we haven't done anything yet. Let's do something for ourselves and get it in here.
So far, Miami's had the monopoly on points. When you talk about get out of jail free, let's see if Florida State can get Park Place here.
Here they come.
They're going to bring it.
Here they come.
Inside handoff. Jones broke one tackle. He's down to about the 6.
Miami had the blitz coming right where the play was designed, and they didn't stop it.
Jones ran right by it.
There's your blitzers coming right in here, and the play's going to come right that way. Campbell's blitzing. Lewis is blitzing. He just did a nice job of finding a gap and getting some positive yardage.
2nd down and 4. Javon Walker's got single coverage out here with Phil Buchanan. It's going to be the ground, though. Jones, nice cutback. Greg Jones, touchdown.
That's a big touchdown drive right there that was aided by a couple of penalties by Miami.
Bobby Bowden's team finally on the board, and for the first time this year, somebody has scored on the Canes in the 2nd quarter. And it's Jones who's got 55 yards in the first half that puts him in the end zone. Extra point is no good. Wide right. Goodness. They don't need that right now.
Can you believe that? I mean, an extra point doesn't mean a lot, but it keeps the momentum going. I mean, it gives you 7 instead of saying the players say, oh, now what are we going in?
Right.
What is going on?
It doesn't put a lot of confidence in your coaching staff or your kicker later on if you need him either. But Jones got him the touchdown.
And he'd been 5 of 5 on field goals this year.
Bobby Bowden talking to Gwaltney over there. Asking him if it was the hold that was the problem. Now he's talking to his kicker.
He checked everything before he talked to the kicker. He found out, was the snap good? Was the hold good? Now he's like a lawyer. When he goes to talk to the kicker, he knows all the answers. So he goes and talks to him and says, how was it? The kicker owns up to it, says, my fault. That's the way you want him.
You know what it was? It wasn't good.
Yeah.
It's a kick taken at the 2 by Johnson. Johnson about the 23. Miami goes back to work. 6:42 remaining. Take another look at the extra point. Gwaltney's a holder, and that's what Bobby was talking with first. Everything looks good.
Nothing wrong with that.
Except the kick.
Nothing wrong with that. Ken Dorsey 3 of 3 on first down passing for 96 yards and a touchdown. And the completions have not been small. They've been of 27, 34, and 35 yards.
McGahee in for Portis, and he's all wrapped up. Florida State bottles him up, and they'd love to come up with a big play here before halftime. Time for our Aflac trivia question. This week, our question, who was the opposing quarterback the last time that Florida State lost at home? We'll give you the answer a little bit later on.
Miami has only had 19 plays the first half, as opposed to Florida State has 36. Of course, the reason is they've had a short field, Miami, and haven't needed many plays.
Miami's got about 4 yards rushing so far, and they got 21 points. You normally don't see that. One of those lying statistics due to turnovers, because we talked about whoever rushes better wins the game. Well, that ain't happening today.
That's for sure. 2 of Miami's possessions started on Florida State's 27-yard line and 36-yard line. They got in on touchdowns immediately thereafter.
Look at that. That's exactly what we were talking about. 4 yards on the ground. They haven't needed it. And now Dorsey's looking at a 3rd and 9. He's pointing out who he wants blocked because Florida State's thinking about a blitz. Dorsey hit Got off that and incomplete. That's good pressure for the first time by Florida State.
Samuels could have come up with a big play for the Seminoles if he could have intercepted that ball.
Yeah, but he's got 2 broken thumbs.
Yep.
This secondary's all thumbs.
They got a bunch of thumbs in that
They
secondary.
do. It's unbelievable.
A broken hand and several broken thumbs. Watch from the end zone now. Dorsey's going to get tagged just right there. Somebody grabs his arm and slows him up just enough for Samuels to get in front of the receiver and almost pick it off.
Here's a punt. Robinson has to backpedal to the 21. Dominique Robinson got to the 30. And there'll be 5 minutes and 9 seconds remaining in the quarter for Florida State to try to tack on some more points. Yeah, that's right.
Like to remind you now that Seminole basketball tickets are now on sale.
I just took a little bit of the good feeling about the touchdown.
I know it. Ridiculous. Yeah.
All right. With coaches Steve Robinson and Sue Summerall and the Noles.
Sorry, I'm keep pushing you, but the step over here got me going here. It's the first time I've mentioned that today.
What, the step?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's get something going here. Start matriculating a little bit. Miami held to a 3-and-out, but the Dodge drive summary, most of their drives have turned into some good things down there in the bottom. 2 touchdown passes, a fumble, 3 punts. The touchdown passes came following turnovers. They were quick strike material. And so they lead 21-6, but Florida State's got 5:09 and 1 timeout to work with. Ricks was better on the last drive, both as a passer and a runner. Let's see what he does here. Down the middle, got it. Out to the 48-yard line, and it's Tolman Gardner.
These are the types of games when quarterbacks, young quarterbacks, grow up. Ricks has had a tough day so far, but nothing's easy against the Hurricane defensively. There you get some separation. Gardner finally separates a little bit from Rumpf, and the ball is right where it needs to be.
1st and 10. Under 5 minutes in the half. Blitz coming from the secondary. Everybody's coming. Ricks, the fade to Walker. Nobody came down with it. Nice job by Reed to come over and help Buchanan. Everybody else was trying to get in Ricks's face.
That's 2 pretty good defensive backs right there, Reed and Buchanan. They're both, well, Reed's a senior, Buchanan is just a junior, but you talk about safeties in the NCAA. Reed is probably one of your best. Lewis, number 23, the strong safety, blitzing. The ball was right there.
Walker took a big hit, though. Reed knocked it out of there. 2nd and 10. Maddox in motion. Quarterback draw. Ricks can't find any place to go. He actually made something out of nothing, though. He got to the 49-yard line. McDougal was the guy that came in there, changed his direction a little bit, but Chris got about 4.
That was a design quarterback draw. It seems like when he just scrambles out of the pocket, he does much better than when the play is called.
And that's 3rd and 6. And William McCray, the fullback, checks in or brings in the play from the bench. Big opportunity here. Only 2 of 7 on their third down conversions. Trying to keep it alive and get points before halftime. Ricks had a man open in the middle. Finally did find it. First down, Maddox. He was open, he was open, he was open, and he finally found it. And now he's hurt. Walters, I think, gave a shot to Ricks after he let go of the ball.
There he is over here. He's just going to come down and get into the center of the field.
Yep, Walters got him right at the end of the play, and he landed funny, but he's a tough customer. Looks to the sidelines for the play. Gets it up at the 33-yard line. Blitz again. They run by it. Jones, but Vilma stays home, and he's going to make the tackle. Boy, there's some head cracking going on down there. 3:20 left in the half.
Miami came in looking for some respect, and I think the way they came out and played, blocking the first punt, getting the turnovers, offense going down and striking and scored, they came out and sent a message.
Reeds keeps twisting in that secondary, and it looks like maybe he's got a stinger. His one shoulder's dropped a little bit.
He didn't want to come out, does he?
Nope. 2nd down and 9 from the shotgun. Here they come again. They just keep loading up. Ricks rolls, keeps this one, and broke through a tackle. Chris Ricks inside the 25. What a run. Yeah. How'd he get through the first two?
That's the big plus with Chris Ricks. Not that he's going to beat you throwing the football, but you better be able to have somebody up there when he scrambles around. He breaks right through, breaks through 2 tackles. Now don't try and do too much. When it's over with, get down.
52 yards on the ground for Ricks. Remember, he's a 4-5 guy speed-wise.
He led the Seminoles in rushing 2 games this year.
Last quarterback to do that for him was Charlie Ward. He only won a Heisman Trophy. Ricks is hurt, and I'm telling you that right now. First down. Pump fakes. Going long. Got a man open. Nope. Out of the back of the end zone.
Woo! Inexperience. He was open. If he would have thrown it flatter and faster and got it there quicker, he would have had him. But he is dead. Look at him. He's breathing hard. He is tired.
I think his elbow's killing him too. Here's the last pass.
From behind the defense. He's dead tired right now. Too much air. If he would have thrown that ball flatter, he was open.
And take a look at Edward Reed. He's going back. Now, he should be able to go up for this ball, but I think on the sideline play, he hurt his right shoulder, and he is having a hard time lifting that right arm up in the air.
2nd down and 10, the 8th play of the Seminole march. Quick opening draw to Jones. He's been their best runner today. Greg got about 5. And we're down near 2 minutes. We asked you our Aflac trivia question earlier. Who's the last opposing quarterback to win at Florida State? It's back in 91. Gino Torretta, another Heisman Trophy winner.
They've got a slew of good quarterbacks at these 2 schools, haven't they?
Ever. This guy's trying to become one. 3rd down and 5. Might be 2-down territory anyway with the final minute and a half of the 2nd quarter. Ricks with time. Throws across the middle, got his man. It's 1st and goal. Here comes Florida State.
I like the play call. I like the play call. You don't need a lot. Go to your receiver out of the backfield. He's looking at him the whole way. Wait. All right, you waited for him to come all the way across the formation. Chris Ricks is getting an education here today.
Against Wake Forest in their last game, neither a running back nor a tight end caught a ball. The first time in 37 outings, and now Nick Maddox has got 2 big grabs on this drive alone. 1st and goal, Florida State. A minute in the half. They're down 21-6. Ricks gonna keep it. Cuts inside. Dives to the 1. Lewis was holding on to his ankles, or he might have scored.
Woo. Boy, when he goes airborne, my heart goes through my head. Woo.
before.
This
Done a complete cartwheel to the end zone. He almost got away with it here.
A design play. Offensive linemen are downfield blocking.
Second and goal at the Miami 1. Ricks, quarterback keeper.
I don't think so.
Didn't get there. 20 seconds, 19. They've got one timeout left.
You got to use it.
And there they stop the clock with 13 seconds left. What a way to wind the second quarter down, huh? 21-6 Miami. Here's a look at that quarterback sneak. I think he slipped a little bit, and he just didn't quite get there. He got to about the 1 foot line.
I agree. Seemed to go low, and he slipped.
ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. Dr. Pepper and your local Dr. Pepper bottler. Dr. Pepper makes the world taste better. And Dell, enterprise systems that are easy to build, easy to own, easy as Dell. In the capital city of Florida, we're in Tallahassee at Doak Campbell Stadium with Bob Greasy and Lynn Swan. I'm Brad Nessler. It's nice to have you along for the 45th renewal of a series that started 50 years ago this season. Coming up, the Valvoline halftime show with John and Terry. They'll have all the scores and highlights from elsewhere around college football, and we might be just one play away from all of a sudden having a game down here in Florida.
Well, I don't think you're going to see a normal running play here, Brad, because if you run a play, you don't have any timeouts left. You got no time to run the fourth down play or kick a field goal. So you either have to throw the football from a regular formation or get outside the pocket, give the quarterback a run
option,
pass option.
Right. Now the whole Seminole group came over en masse for that timeout.
Now, of course, Randy Shannon and the Hurricanes know that. So they're going to try and keep him in the pocket. Now, you'd think he would roll out to this side over here. You'd think he would roll out this way. So they're going to try to contain and not let him get outside the pocket.
2 tight ends and 2 fullbacks. And Maddox the tail. And now Miami might take a timeout here. No, the officials are actually. And a penalty marker in the end zone. I don't know what that could be about. We just had a timeout.
Illegal substitution on the defense. Penalty is half the distance to the goal.
Now I know what it was.
Third down.
So illegal substitution following the timeout against Miami. All it does is inch it about.
Maybe they had 12 players out there. There goes one player off right now. There must have been 12 players, and that's a good job by the back judge to count the number of players. That's his first thing when they come back out.
Here's the 2 tight end set. Mater and McCray, both the fullbacks are in there, and so is Maddox. Third down and inches. Play action. Ricks rolls. Flags are down. He lobs it, and it's intercepted by Reed. But again, there's a penalty marker down.
Well, that's the play they had to run.
But who's the flag on? Florida State reacting as though it's on Miami. It is holding Hurricanes. And some of the Miami players are running off the field with their hands held aloft, and now they're just getting the bad news.
Let's take a look over here. If there's going to be any holding, it's probably going to be on the receiver that's trying to get out. There you go, right there. Now that was holding the receiver that was trying to get out, the tight end. He was trying to hold Shockey. And the back judge was looking right at it. And now you got a first down.
First down, but still only 8 seconds
now
left.
Now you got a time problem. I think you do the same thing. You cannot run the ball. You've got to get outside the pocket.
First and goal, Florida State. Ricks the give to McCray. Touchdown!
Well, you can run it if you know you're going to score.
And the big fella did.
If you know you're going to get in, they're putting all their things on, putting all their marbles on McCray's back. And if he doesn't get in, they don't get any points.
William McCray playing on a bad ankle. That ankle just got healthy there.
Over here.
Nice blocking, and he went airborne.
Gutsy call.
And now Beitia in for the point after. And he better hit this extra point, or he might want to just go out to the parking lot and head home.
Bobby says, I don't want to go for two.
Right down the middle of that 10.
We're going to be scoring a lot more points. We're just going to stay in the ball game.
A lot of football left now.
There you go.
Florida State with 13 unanswered points. They go 70 yards in 12 plays, an impressive drive in a little over 5 minutes, and they put it in the end zone.
And Chris Ricks got beat up the whole way. I mean, he played his heart out, ran better than he threw, hit some big key third down conversions, but the shots that we had of him, he got beat up. He's going to be a tired puppy coming out second half.
Bobby had a 3rd and 6 and threw for 11. He had a 3rd and 5 and threw for 11. As you said, he got knocked down, banged around, but he kept getting up.
This is the education of a California kid come to Florida to play quarterback.
He says, you know what, I want one of those drives like Dorsey had last year when they beat us. Well, we got 2 quarters left before we get to that point, but that drive certainly helped the cause. John and Terry are 5 seconds away, and I assume we're going to have a squib kick coming up here that should use that remaining 5 seconds. Chris Ricks, by the way, started the game 2 of 12. He's hit 5 of his last 7. We mentioned Miami hadn't given up any points until today in the second quarter. High kick taken by Johnson, and they'll drop him right there, and the half will come to an end. What a finish to the second quarter for the Florida State Seminoles at home. And their fans finally have reason to stand. Top-ranked Miami in front, but the Noles trying to defend their home turf as we head down to Lynn Swan.
Coach, 2 questions. Your offense, they've been able to take advantage of quick strikes with the defense giving great field position. Can they sustain a drive to control the offensive flow of the game?
Well, we need to, Lynn. We're not running the ball, which is very, very obvious. We need to be able to mix it up. We haven't been able to do that. They've stuffed our run pretty good. We've got to rest our defense some, and we've got to do some things to make some first downs.
And on the other side, your defense, Florida State's been able to run the ball. Seems like they're controlling the line of scrimmage.
Well, I think they're doing a good job. Obviously, they're a talented team. It's about what we expected. We feel fortunate to be ahead at halftime. We gave them some momentum at the end of the half, and we've got to come out and play a great half and do the things we need to do to win the football game.
Coach, thank you. Brad?
13 unanswered points for Florida State in the last 7 minutes of the half. They trail, but now it's 21-13 as we head to John Saunders and Terry Bowden at Times Square Stadium in New York. Guys.
Rangers are Andy Kruger, Susie Lalama, and Lisa Marino.
Halftime at Doak Campbell Stadium. Top-ranked Miami leading Florida State, but it was 13 unanswered points for the Seminoles in the last 6 minutes and 50 seconds of that second quarter. That has made it a ball game. Welcome back, everybody. Brad Nessler and Bob Greasy. Kind of a weird game. I mean, they gave Miami all their points, and Florida State really had to battle back to get in this thing.
The momentum shifted to special teams. The funny thing is, Miami's got 21 points, and the offense feels like they need to protect their defense. They're not staying out there. Florida State has run like 20 more plays than Miami has. So, but they've got 21 points. Miami's offense, short field 2 times.
When's the last time you've seen 3 rushing yards be a leader at half?
Yeah. It's one of those frustrating things offensively where you feel like you haven't done anything, but you got 21 points.
Those 14 off turnovers you see down there, the second to last statistic, is what has made the difference. Miami will get the football first as we start the third quarter in Tallahassee. Andre Johnson again on the kick return. And Johnson Broke it across the 30 out to about the 32-yard line. Our Morgan Stanley well-connected storyline in this one. Ken Dorsey hasn't had to do much. As Bob said, only 8 passes, but 2 of them were touchdowns. The points came off turnovers. Chris Ricks has been one tough cookie. He got knocked around in that second quarter. Still has 79 yards in the air, 58 on the ground. And it's Florida State winning the battle of rushing, but not on the scoreboard so far.
I don't know if Chris Ricks had ice or heat on him at halftime. Ice bags on one side and heat on the other.
I know one thing, he had heat on him the whole first half. And that came from Miami. Here's Dorsey. Play action on first down. Across the middle and wide open is Johnson on the run. Johnson broke a tackle. Tiptoes down the sideline. He's run out at the 44-yard line, and then a late flag comes in after the play would have been dead back at the 44. Not the way you want to start for Florida State on 2 plays.
Miami obviously picked up something that Florida State was doing. Came out and ran that play, a crossing route.
After the play was over, personal foul on the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Johnson, number 5, comes in motion and then comes across play action, opposite side of the field. Now what Mickey Andrews is going to get upset about is right here.
Malcolm Tatum.
When Tatum knocks him out of bounds, that's a tough call.
That's a little chintzy there, I think.
It's a tough call when the guy's close. I mean,
he had no idea. He had no idea Johnson was out of bounds.
Well, if he was going to go out of bounds, maybe he was going to act like he was going to go out of bounds and then stay in bounds. It's a tough call.
So all the way down to the 29-yard line after a kick return, a crossing pattern, and then a penalty. And now Florida State, did they jump in to the neutral zone? Dockett is saying he was pulled in there by somebody flinching on the offensive line. We'll see who's right and who's wrong.
Prior to the snap, ball start, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Darnell Dockett wasn't kidding. There's the movement right there, 74. Haji Razuli, who you saw in our halftime piece with John and Terry. Interesting young fella and one of 5 great offensive linemen on that front wall.
Yeah, he was featured at halftime.
Yep.
It was an interesting story.
So it's 1st and 15. Here's a stretch. Portis, who's back in there, he was dinged up, as Swanee told us a little bit in that second quarter, and he doesn't get anything on that one. Jeff Womble is over there to help on the stop.
You know, one of the statistics we did not give is that yardage penalized. Florida State now has been penalized 71 yards. That was 71 yards that you're helping the Miami offense down the field in their 6 or 7 drives so far during the ballgame.
See that big thing on the left elbow of Jeff Womble. He's playing with an elbow injury and has to wear that brace for the next 2 weeks. So he's a one-arm man, but he made a one-arm tackle on the last one for no gain. 2nd and 15. Dorsey down the middle, got his man, and it's going to be a first down. Jason Geathers this time in front of Abdul Howard. A pickup of 16 on a 2nd and 15.
This is going to be a little bit double coverage. Look at Samuels playing to the outside. The safety from the left side, he was double covering him inside and out. And Dorsey says, you're too deep on the inside. I can still get this in. That's just a nice play.
Dorsey has thrown some nice passes. Not a lot of them, but very effective.
He's been very effective.
In the red zone again for the Canes. Nice play action. Dorsey wanted it all. Now does throw it away.
Yeah. He had double coverage to the guy that he was going to, and when he first pumped to throw it, he said, no, I better not do that. And then he says, I got to get out of here because that's the only guy I've got out. So I'm throwing it out of here.
This is the first time he's had a grass stain on his jersey all year, I think.
Right here, he says, no, I shouldn't do that. He said, all right, I got plenty of time. I'm just getting out of here.
And there's the grass stain right there. Hasn't been sacked all year.
No sacks. 5th game of the year.
2nd down and 10. Miami in front by 8. Opening drive of the 3rd quarter. Davenport in motion. Dorsey. Plenty of time. Deep. Trying to go to his tight end down to the back of the end zone. Shockey was the intended receiver.
Tried to get it to Shockey. Good coverage. Shockey only has caught 1 ball.
that was a touchdown.
Yeah, touchdown.
And that was about a 1-foot touchdown catch. You know, it's amazing sometimes, Bob, from up here, when you see Shockey running down the field, you lose sight of the fact he's a tight end. He's that fast. I was just watching that play, and I said, it's got to be a wide receiver, but it's not. He can really motor.
Yeah, he can run, and he gets upset when he gets downfield when he calls him Dorsey. He says, Dorsey, throw me the ball. He says, I'm open. Well, every receiver says they're open.
He just said something to Dorsey on the way to the line of scrimmage. On 3rd down, here is Dorsey. Thrown, and it's inside the 5, and it's a Miami touchdown, and it's Johnson again. 18-yard touchdown pass.
Too much time to throw if you're a Nole fan. He sat back there behind that offensive line and just picked them out. Here he is over here. He's just going to go down and get into the center of the field. He looks to the left side. See, he's looking left. Then all the time he has, he just comes back and throws it right side.
Then 2 missed tackles and Seaver's extra point makes it 28-13. So Dorsey's got 3 touchdown passes, 2 of them to number 5.
Yeah, give some credit to the offensive line here.
No doubt about that.
Take that.
Yeah, no kidding. I'm not crazy about that personal foul call, though.
I'm not either. I'm not either. But like you say, on a game like this, they're not going to let anything get out of hand.
No doubt about this being Andre Johnson's biggest game. He only caught 3 balls all last year and 13 coming in. He's got 5 for 111 and 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Not the 14 in a row.
Yeah, that's right.
Comcast Cable. Tallahassee Democrat and State Farm.
Who, me? Oh, well, there's 2 renegades. There's actually 2 renegades. I'm confused. One doesn't have a saddle. One doesn't have a rider. I'm confused. What do they do? Switch renegades at halftime? This is a 2-pony show. Andre Johnson, number 5 in the middle, maybe making a call home. Did you see me? I'm 5 for 111 and 2 touchdowns.
A lot of phones. They're all listening to the same guy talking. It's easier to talk with a lot of phones and just say it once. Get everybody on the line. I want to tell you guys what's going on down there.
That's right. So Severs to kick. The lead is 15 now again. Thorpe, PK Sand back deep for Florida State. It'll be Thorpe, and he won't bring it out. Let's check in with Swanee.
Well, Brad, this is the Sears National Champion Trophy presented to the winner of the BCS Championship Series, of which Florida State has been in all 3 of the first 3 championship games. Now, of course, is in jeopardy today. I talked to Bobby Bowden as he came out from halftime. He said the only difference in this ball game are the turnovers. And for Terry, who was wondering who called that play, the running play for the touchdown, well, Bobby said it was the first choice play of our game plan. So neither called it, father or son. It was just game plan.
There you go.
It's a good thing it worked, because they would have been down.
See, Jeb Bush isn't the only politician in the building today. Let's see how Chris Ricks does now. He was brilliant in that last drive before halftime to help get him a touchdown. Rose wide open as Atruz Bell. And Atruz has a first down. Pick up of 11. Atruz Bell, one of the captains on this Florida State team.
Seminoles had the ball like 8 times the first half, struggled until the last 2 possessions, and then just took it down and scored on their last 2 possessions of the first half.
Not messing too much with very long huddles here right now. They're going to do things at the line from the 31. That's what he's doing. Changing things up. Blitz coming from the slot. But Maddox runs up the middle, and it's a first down for Nick Maddox. 14 yards, just putting his head down. That's a fired-up tailback right now.
This is impressive. This is impressive, the rushing yards. If they can run this ball right at the University of Miami, this defensive line and linebacker is pretty good. Look at the size of that hole. Campbell misses. Waters is right there and gets blocked. This is impressive so far. 155 yards rushing.
Well, they take that any week. From the 46, Ricks from the gun. Plenty of time. Whoops, hit as he threw. The ball is loose again. Nobody home except Duma. And the middle linebacker's got it, and he's heading to the end zone. This will be a Miami touchdown.
This is why coaches always talk about turnovers and protecting the ball. Last year, Miami had eight touchdowns on takeaways alone just last year defensively. This year, this is their fourth one.
Watch how long this ball just lies there like a snake in a pasture that nobody wanted to touch. They didn't know it was out there.
No, did he try to throw that ball and try to hold up with it? Dillman knew it because the referee that was standing there didn't make any motion at all.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct on Miami, 15-yard penalty.
So that'll make this a long extra point.
Let's go back and take a look and see if he makes a throwing motion on this and the ball comes out.
He did. He hit the defensive lineman right in the pads. He hit Andrew Williams right in the thigh pad with that thing.
Let me see that again. I think he gets hit from behind. Does somebody get hit his arm from behind and then his arm? I think the ball is out when it's coming through.
Severs knocks in the long extra point. Check in with Lynn.
Oh, Bob, you're absolutely correct. He was moving forward with the ball and got hit from behind. I was standing directly behind him. Watch him set up in the pocket here. As he steps forward, there's an arm that comes in from behind right here. There's the contact on the ball, but he was definitely moving it forward.
That's definitely a fumble. I think that's a fumble. The ball was loose in his hand. His arm was coming forward, but the ball was loose from getting hit.
There's 80-some thousand that don't agree with us. In fact, it's the second largest crowd in Doak Campbell history, 82,836. When Miami scores 30-plus, they don't lose. Well, they're up 35-13.
This defense of Randy Shannon's is a very aggressive group. And I mentioned last year how they had takeaways and 8 touchdowns off the takeaways that the defense got alone. Well, this year they've gotten 2 in this game, and this is the 4th one of the year. You have to be careful when you're on offense against this group because they're just looking for fumbles and interceptions.
Severs has been a busy kicker. And he hasn't allowed anything in the form of a run back by the kick return group of Florida State. This one, Thorpe may have a chance on the bounce from the 10. Thorpe only out to the 21, maybe the 22-yard line. I don't think I've ever seen a fumble lie on the ground longer than this one that Vilma finally found a handle on.
Nobody knew it was back there. Vilma, one of the fastest guys on the Hurricane team, a middle linebacker out of Coral Gables High School.
Leading tackler coming in, and he's part of great linebacker tradition at the University of Miami, including the MVP from the Super Bowl last year, Ray Lewis, Michael Barrow, Darren Smith. Dan Morgan was the #1 draft choice of the Panthers, and Jesse Armstead, a longtime stalwart for the New York Giants. And now Florida State finds itself in that position they were in earlier when they're really in a big hole and have to find a way out. Last time they did with 13 unanswered points, and that's what they're going to have to start to do here.
You really like this kid Vilma. He was a true freshman last year, played a little bit, now is starting, calling all the signals. He had knee surgery in the spring, and Randy Shannon says this kid is really, he said he's brilliant. He called him brilliant. He leads the team in tackles.
Speaks several languages, so he's a smart guy. 2nd down 7. Ricks. Down the middle. Got his man. Across the 40 is Walker. Nope. It's Atruz Bell. With 11:27 to go in the quarter, let's check in Times Square Stadium in New York and John Saunders. How fun is Woody to watch
Yes,
play?
he's a lot of fun.
1st down, Florida State at the 41. And penalty markers down. They take too much time.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 1st down.
Another penalty on the offense. There it is.
Right guard.
Milford Brown. Just a little bit of movement. That's all it takes. So 1st and 15 now. 11 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. Top-ranked Miami by 22 at Florida State, where they haven't lost a game in 10 years. Here's Jones on the inside handoff. Greg's been a tough runner today. Got back to penalty yardage and then a couple more. We'll give him 7.
We got a couple streaks going here today, right?
Yes, we do.
Miami's got 14 straight wins, and then Florida State hasn't lost here in 54 games. Going back to when Miami beat him in 1991. So
10 years ago. And Miami has the record of 58 straight before Washington beat them. Florida State 37 wins in a row, 54 without defeat. That includes that tie against Florida that I alluded to earlier back in '94, 31-31. I also said they were going to have that kind of game to get back in this thing. Will they? We'll find out. Floater caught by Coleman Gardner. Gardner trying to outrace Lewis to the end zone. Will he get there? Yes, he will. Touchdown, 7-0. '57 yards. Touchdown, Florida State.
Chris Ricks is going up. I tell you what, it was either going to be an interception the other way or a touchdown, because Ed Reed went for the interception and didn't get it.
That ball hung in the air a little bit, but Gardner snatched it. The extra point is good, and it's 35-20. The Noles are not going down without a fight.
It's an inside release. Now watch the high throw to the right of your screen. See, Reed thought it was going to be overthrown or deflected, so he went for the ball instead of the receiver, and Gardner just made a great catch and a nice run.
Gardner 4 straight games with touchdowns now.
Nice protection. Look at here.
He's thinking the other direction right there.
He says, I've got 15 interceptions in my career. 3 of them I ran back for touchdown, and I can see this one going that way. Nice protection. Stays in there. A little bit high.
Gardner hung with it.
Yes, he did.
And then he outraced Lewis to the end zone. Longest play of the year for Florida State. Chris Ricks probably pointing towards Mom. His mom passed away when he was a young boy, and he still wears her name on his sweatbands every game.
Bobby says that quarterback's getting pretty good.
He's getting better.
He's getting better. You got to go through these things. Pretty good team he's playing out there today.
Here's a kick. Andre Johnson from the goal line. Johnson with 2 touchdowns receiving today. Oh, did he get leveled at the 15? Claudius Osei. Osei, can you see?
Can't see too good now.
No.
I got hit. I didn't see you coming.
So Miami now will have to work inside its own 20. That doesn't happen very often this year.
A little ice on the back of the calf.
Watch this job by Osei. A foul right there. Ken Dorsey's only thrown 13 passes today, but 3 of them have been touchdowns. There he is.
165 yards.
Here he comes off play action. Got hit as he threw. Oh, that would have been a touchdown.
That would have been.
Darryl Jones just dropped it. He was thinking about going 72 yards, and he forgot to take the mail with him.
Rufus Brown was going for the ball, trying to make a play on it. Watch this. Take a look from behind this. This is behind the line of scrimmage. Watch this offensive line give him nice protection.
Look at this. Uh-oh. Forgot it. I forgot the ball.
Oh, boy, is Rufus Brown happy that he dropped that one.
No doubt about that. 2nd down and 10. Here's the long handoff. Big hit by Pope on Portis. He got about 4 to the 20.
You think there's not some hitting going on out there?
Pope's been involved in some of them, hasn't he?
Pope has been all over the place. He's probably going to be the next great linebacker that comes out of Florida State. Watch this. Portis is going to duck up inside the block of Davenport, and here comes Pope. Now you think Pope got the worst of it, but Portis' helmet came off.
That's right. He lost his lid. 3rd down and 6. Florida State's defense trying to come up with a big play like Miami's done today. Dorsey fires. He's got his man wide open this time. Jones holds on to it and cuts it back to the 38-yard line. And another hat flies off. This one's Pope's 18-yard pickup on a 3rd and 6.
Top of your screen. Single coverage. The reason you're getting the single coverage on the wide receivers is they've got 2 guys covering Shockey, the tight end. So they're looking for Shockey, the leading receiver, coming in, and Dorsey's going outside.
And in addition to that, Bob, it's hard when you've got a guy like Darryl Jones who runs so fast. He's about a 10-2 guy in a 100-meter dash. He was a champion in their conference in 1999-2000. So a defensive back has to play off. So if you give him too much respect, you give him all the short stuff. If you take a chance, give him no respect, crowd him, he'll just run right by you. So it's a dilemma for the cornerback.
I was going to say, Swanee, Malcolm Tatum gave him so much room, but remind everybody that this isn't Tay Cody and Cleavon Thomas out here playing cornerback for Florida State.
That's a good point. That's a good point. They're new corners. There's new defensive ends. They don't rush the passer and cover as well as they have in the past.
I think you saw the foul. The penalty was on Miami after the play, which backed him up. But Dorsey comes right up, rifling it again, and he gets a 1st down throw out to the 34-yard line in front of Rufus Brown. It's Kevin Beard this time.
Pass is complete to number 9, Kevin Beard.
It's only, take a look at this. Beard against Brown. Brown's only like 5'7" and 170 pounds, so he's a midget.
And didn't get him wrapped up.
He's playing because of the injury to Malcolm Tatum. He broke his hand a couple weeks ago.
Tatum's been out there with that cast on that hand. And here's penalty markers down. Portis has the corner and all the way out near midfield. But again, a penalty marker at the line of scrimmage, or actually in the backfield. I think they're going to bring this one back. Although it was not the referee that threw the flag, so maybe it's not a holding. It's motion. So it will take it back. 35-20 here as we check in with John Saunders in New York.
Illegal motion on the offense. 5-yard penalty from the line of scrimmage. Deep 1st down.
Yeah, this Bowden here is down 15. Terry's not losing either.
Well, at least Mama's halfway happy.
1st down and 15. Backed up to the 29. And there's a big opener for Portis again. And nobody back there to drag him down until Rufus Brown finally holds on a 20-yard pickup. Looked like it was going to be the same play, same result, but no penalty.
Good blocking to the left side of the line. That's Big McKinney, number 78, doing his thing. Brown comes up to make his tackle. Nobody else behind him.
Swanee.
Well, McKinney's a great story. Sometimes you build a team by design. You need some luck. McKinney went to Lackawanna Junior College in Pennsylvania. Wanted to go to Penn State, but Penn State didn't take junior college transfers, so he headed south to Florida.
Probably happy he's here about now, wouldn't you say?
Extremely happy. He has not given up a sack his entire career, none this year. And when Dorsey drops back a pass and you've got that kind of confidence, that big number 78, all 6'6", 336 pounds of you, will keep people out and keep you protected. That goes a long way towards completing those tight passes down the field.
He and Gonzalez are, without a doubt, I think the best pair of tackles in college football. 141 attempts without giving up anybody on Ken Dorsey.
They take pride in that. Not only the offensive line, but Dorsey, they want him to get rid of it as quickly as he does.
Here's a handoff again to Portis, and again he finds running room. Portis couldn't get anything going in the first half, and now he's starting to warm up a little bit.
You know, and this Florida State defense is pretty good at sacking quarterbacks. They've been known for knocking quarterbacks down, knocking them out of ball games. Last year, when they had all of their top seniors that have now since departed, they didn't sack Dorsey on this offensive line either. So they've gone 2 years without sacking a Miami quarterback.
Boy, would they love one right here. 3rd and 6. Where's Shockey? He's down on the left side. Dorsey will keep it on the ground, though. And this will be a first down run. That quiets the crowd back again. 8 yards for Portis on a 3rd and 6.
That was a nice call. You get him thinking pass, and then you run the play. Well, here's Shockey right here. You want to know where Shockey is.
That was a decent block on Pope.
Yeah, I mean, when Pope's coming up on the outside, that was an easy block.
Long sustained drives is how Miami can control this football game, and the offensive line would like to keep it on the ground. Why? Because Portis told his offensive lineman every time he goes over 150 yards, he'll buy him dinner. He's about 110 yards away from that right now.
Here's Dorsey going on top, long ball. Who's got it? Miami does.
Yeah, I think Jones got it, wasn't it? No, it was Sands.
Ethnic Sands pulled it down. It was going to be a fight for that ball all the way to the turf, and he won it.
And this is all it is. It's one-on-one. It's Sands against Tatum, and Hope is helping out. The quarterback just threw it up, and you know, the quarterback, I'll throw it up if you protect me and go up and make a play on it. Ethnic Sands was a quarterback in high school. Went to Carroll City, led him to a state title, I think a couple of times at the quarterback position. Was the backup quarterback last year.
Timeout taken with 5:52. Florida State's defense trying to catch its breath. Miami trying to stretch its lead. This one could start to dim the lights, boys.
Yeah. Those two right off the bat coming out the second half hurt.
Hey, Bob, Brett.
Yeah.
Just as a conversation note, there's something during the course of the ball game. I mean, the drive at the beginning of the second half and this drive are the kind of controlled drive that Miami has got to demonstrate they can do to play against the best teams in the country.
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, so this is good for them, and it's also good leading up to that fourth quarter test if these guys all stay in and play the ball game.
Yeah, exactly. Good
For the
point.
bigger picture.
Seven drives all day.
Yeah. How long was this drive
Let's see
so
that
far?
drive chart. Okay. Okay.
A block punch, not a drive, though. Our Nissan drive summary. Miami, this is the 8th drive they've been on today. 3 touchdown passes, a fumble, and 3 punts. What's not on there is not considered a drive. Remember, they blocked a punt for a touchdown.
Right.
So there's the extra 7 that you mix into all of that, and now they're 1st and goal again at the Florida State 4-yard line. Portis behind Najee Davenport. They play fake it to him. Flags down. Shockey touchdown. Let's see what the flag's about. Motion against Miami will negate the touchdown pass. And Dorsey wants an explanation.
Well, you had 1 man in motion, so if anybody else moves, that'd be 2 men in motion, and that's illegal.
Illegal shift on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
See, I think that's where some of the college officials can be a little bit more descriptive to help us out to see what the penalty is. Here's a man in motion right here. I didn't see anybody else moving.
Neither. One tight end, Robert Williams, was moving. Shockey, the other tight end's who the intended receiver was, and did catch it. But they bring it back, and now it's 1st and goal on the 9. Now they move Williams again the other way. Portis on the give. Oh! You hear that one?
You can hear that up here, huh?
Man. Abdul Howard, Kendall Pope, those guys getting off the bottom of the pile.
Miami has hurt Florida State on 1st downs all day. They've had 5 plays of over 25 yards on 1st down alone.
11th play of the drive. Swanee, as you were talking about, these are the kind that you have to put together against the best teams in the country.
Show people that you can control the football, dominate the game. You have to have long, sustained drives.
2nd and goal. Dorsey, play action. Wanted to go to his left. He's going to throw this one away. That's a smart move. He hit the backup renegade with that thing, I think, didn't he? He got pretty close anyway. One of those spots, I think, so football just hit the horse in the butt.
That's the backup renegade?
I think it is. They got 2 renegades out there. I'm a little confused.
How do you know that? How do you even think that might be the backup?
Well, because he's not wearing the saddle or Chief Osceola. I figure that's a reserve.
All right.
Well, Chief Osceola is on the renegade that they keep active, but they always have a backup renegade or a renegade in training. Kind of, you know, like Mickey Andrews' philosophy. You're always training the next team, next year's team. This is next year's horse.
3rd and goal. Dorsey to the end zone. Tipped. Incomplete. And Shockey was standing there with his hands waiting, and Bradley Jennings said,
Should have been intercepted. Trying to get the ball to Shockey. Took one away from him on a legal motion. Watch Jennings, number 44. I think he's going to get his hands on it.
44 right in your screen, and he got it with a left hand.
Yeah.
Big stop for Florida State. Now Sabres will try a 23-yard field goal. Blocked. I think a whistle blew, and now Miami comes up running, and they might get to the end zone. Freddie Capshaw takes it in. I think a whistle had blown. At least that's what it appeared. And we're not getting any indication yet.
I don't see any flags.
I don't see a flag, but I could have sworn I heard a whistle before that kick, before the snap was ever made. And we don't have any signal from Dennis Hennigan or any of his troops so far. He's walking around like it's a touchdown.
Yeah, it's just like a touchdown, kick the extra point.
Wow. How many ways can Miami score today?
Well, special teams. That was a negative.
There's a high snap.
Turned into a positive.
Florida State's just stunned. They thought they'd forced a field goal. They do this on a bad snap.
Oh,
wasn't blocked. He picked it up.
That's the old trick. Hold it there for you, not pull it away from you. We used to do that when we were kids.
Freddie Capshaw, touchdown. Goodness. Unbelievable. What else can go on today?
My kicker's got a pulled hamstring, but I got a touchdown. Well, no, you can get up and run. Yeah, the holder, in this situation, the holder can get up and run. I think that's a good thing to come back and explain. Let's look at it again. That's good. Oh, boy. 42-20.
How far was that?
They've scored everywhere they can.
13. 13.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
The official said as long as there is a kicker in position to kick the ball, whether it's blocked or not, the guy with his knee on the ground can get up and run the ball.
Right.
Okay?
It's a bad snap. Capshaw, the punter, is the holder, so he catches it, bobbles it, and then realizes that he got no chance, so he picks it up and takes off running. Now, the holder was down, his knee was down, but anytime there is a kicker in position to kick the ball, the holder is allowed to not only put his knee down, but then get up and run.
Now, if you're wondering about Freddie Capshaw out of Rock Springs, Wyoming, a second-team All-State running back and defensive back in high school, so once he got up, he knew what to do with it. And he took it to the end zone, 6-yard, make it a 7-yard touchdown officially, capping an 84-yard drive. Just when Florida State, how demoralizing is that going to be, Bob, that the Noles thought, you know what, we held them to a field goal, we're still in this thing.
And you know, first two offensive possessions by the Hurricanes, they've scored touchdowns. Plus, they picked up a fumble for Florida State and run it back. So 4 possessions, the Hurricanes have got 3 touchdowns out of them in the second half.
Severs kick. Thornton has to watch it go over his head again. That's 5 times Severs has knocked that thing in for a touchback. He's not letting them do anything. Dorsey having a good day, so's his team. Coming up next, most of you will see a great Pac-10 matchup. Number 8 Washington and number 7 UCLA. And some of you will see Wisconsin against number 25 Ohio State. All coming up next right here on ABC Sports. Kenny Dorsey has not heard his Heisman candidacy possibilities today with 3 touchdown passes.
Hey, he's only 12 of 20 for 228 yards, 3 touchdown passes.
Had 1 called back.
I tell you, one of those little things we showed up, you know, whoever gets the most this wins the game, or who most that. Miami's only rushed for 50 yards. Florida State's rushed for 155.
I guess we can blow that one out of the water, huh? Here's Ricks down the middle. Intercepted. This one's Buchanan, and he might take it back. Buchanan down the sideline and tiptoes out at the 18-yard line.
I tell you, Miami, Buchanan and Reed, the 2 guys that have intercepted passes today, will be number 1 draft choices in the NFL. That's what he's going up against right here. Tough defensive line, very active, trying to throw it over. That's a dangerous throw. Dangerous throw. That's a good look at what he saw, and that was just a poor throw.
And Bob, Talman Gardner was coming across the middle of the field. He's supposed to keep coming across. As you see, Ricks rolls and starts to throw. Gardner stops, and then he can't pick it up. He just stopped on the route coming through. That left the defensive back, Buchanan, in position to make the INT.
I think if he would have kept coming, Lenny, that Buchanan would have got it anyway.
Yeah, but if you're a good receiver, Bob, it's a chance you strip the guy.
I know one thing.
You don't let him make the catch, but he took himself totally out of it.
Yeah, I'm all for that.
Ricks got away with that once, remember, in the second quarter. And Bob said, oh, boy, that's dangerous. That's the same kind of throw there.
That's right.
Cost him. Williams, a tight end in motion. Dorsey, play action, might want it all here in one play again. And it's incomplete. Intended receiver was Darrell Jones, who got tangled up back there in double coverage. Let's check in Times Square Stadium in New York and John Saunders. John? Here it's top-ranked Miami 42, Florida State 20. Some of the folks trying to start a chant here for the Noles. We need chanting and a bunch more right now. Hit in the backfield, McGahee by Jennings.
There's a scuffle going on over there.
There's been a few of those today. Penalty markers down. Chris Hope and Najee Davenport tangled up a little bit there.
Talking to some of the coaches before the ball game, they told me that Miami had an excellent week of practice and that they were.
After the play was over, personal foul on the defense. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. First down.
Excellent week of practice for the Hurricanes, and that they were really looking forward to playing Florida State, because they knew that the 4 teams that they had played before only had a combined record of 3-14, so they were looking for some respect and hoping to get it from Florida State by beating them here today. There's Rob Chudzinski doing a nice job, his first year as the offensive coordinator.
We alluded to it a little bit in the open today, and John and Terry talked about it some, in that in an unofficial BCS poll, Miami would be 13th coming in. But remember, they didn't play that Washington game due to the tragedy in New York and Washington. We were scheduled to do that game, so they didn't find out anything in that one because they didn't play it. And here's McGahee, maybe icing this thing in the 3rd quarter. Touchdown. Willis McGahee. I think the Florida State defense is getting a little bit tired. Earl Jones is the guy that's holding his shin.
He was hurt earlier in the year at the Penn State game. I think he just got in the mix there and got hit when they were tackling in McGahee.
Hopefully he just got kicked in the shin and it's not a knee, but they're being very, very cautious with the senior out of Dallas. Here's McGahee, the redshirt freshman, on the touchdown run.
Jones is number 1, just came across your screen.
Oh, there it is.
Bent back.
Ouch.
Yeah.
That doesn't go that way.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how great an athlete you are, that doesn't bend that direction.
Yeah.
With a guy laying on top of you.
The guy laying on top of you, pushing you. It's got to be a twisted ankle.
And he's actually walking off without any help.
These guys are so flexible. That's why they do the weight training and all the loosening and the stretching before the game and during the game, so that you can take a hit like that and be able to walk off the field.
The score is about to become 49-20 if Severs hits the extra point. And again, it's going to be points that came following this time a Buchanan interception.
I still I get a kick out of Capshaw, what he did with that extra point. Put the ball down, they pulled it away.
I thought he was going to pull that one up just for goofs on him there. Severs knocks it through. 49-20 with 3:54 remaining in the 3rd quarter. A reminder, rivals collide on Monday night as Washington heads to Dallas on Monday Night Football. Stephen Davis, LeVar Arrington leading the Redskins against Emmitt Smith. 9 o'clock Eastern right here on ABC. Al, Fauci, Dennis, and the crew will bring you the action.
Emmett's looking for his friends. He's word on my friend. They had a big 3 down there at one time.
Yeah, they did. Aikman and Irvin not around anymore, and Emmitt trying to do a lot of it on his own. Closing in, but it's going to be next year, it looks like, before he catches Walter Payton's record, unless he has some sensational games along the way. The Florida State fans being quieted right now by the folks that came from South Florida.
Miami has had 3 drives that started in Florida State territory, and they all led to touchdowns. 27 yards, 36 and 18, and that's pretty good play by your defense and your special teams, helping your offense.
4 offensive touchdowns, 1 defensive touchdown, and 2 special team scores.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty well-rounded football team.
There it is.
You know, I saw a little bit of Oklahoma the other day. They look pretty good.
Yeah, their defense is among the best.
Their defense, their offense. University of Florida looks good. There's some other teams out there that look pretty good. And this Hurricane team, I think, wanted to prove a point, get a little respect here today.
They're starting to prove it, that's for sure. Swanee, you find anything out about Daryl Jones?
Yeah, they got him on the table behind the bench and working on his left ankle. I'm being told that it's a sprain, but as that kind of sprain and that kind of pull and stretch on his body, I'm sure they will get him in the locker room after the game, check it out, and make sure it's only a sprain.
Okay. How about Severs? He's a pumped up kicker. He knocked that thing almost to the crowd. And there's Daryl in some obvious pain. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Nissan. Nissan introduces the totally new V6 Ultima, the cure for the common car. Morgan Stanley, formerly Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. Move your money, get well connected. Circuit City, we know how you feel. That's why we're here. Circuit City, we're with you. And The One, new film from Revolution Studios. There's the sportsmanship trophy out front. And there's been a few times when players on this field have not had their helmets on today because they'd had them knocked off on the previous play.
Yeah.
It's been a hard-hitting one, but right now it's top-ranked Miami that looks all of the ranking, doing it in a variety of ways. And it's going to take a miracle 18 minutes and 50 seconds remaining in this football game for the long streak to not go by the boards. Nick Maddox not done yet, though, as he gets it from Chris Ricks, and he fights his way out near midfield. Seminoles say we're not going away yet.
Yeah, but this is a tough defense. They've had 12 possessions, and 7 of them have started at their own 20 or worse. That's a long haul to go against this defense.
You talk about field position, and sometimes you just kind of laugh at that and say, you know, that's just coach speak. No, it's not. Not when you're that lopsided with the field position in your favor due to turnovers or whatever the case might be. It's certainly magnified in Miami's favor today. From the shotgun, Ricks on first down from the 48. Ricks has plenty of time. Deep middle. It's intercepted by Buchanan again.
They've got Buchanan playing the robber in the middle of the field. I don't know if Ricks is not picking him up or if he's trying to just throw it over his head all the time, but that's the second interception. We told you that the Hurricanes came in #1 in turnover margin. Take a look from behind the defense.
5th turnover ties a season high, and we saw the other previous high against North Carolina.
There he is right there. There's no way. Here's the other defensive man. Buchanan is right there.
He's just too good a center fielder to try that stuff.
You can't force that.
No. Second pick of the day for Buchanan, his 3rd of the year. His 2nd of this half, for that matter. And the offense has got it right back.
Buchanan and Reed are 2 of your best corners in the country, I want to tell you.
Portis, he's going to be wrapped up. No, he's not. Reverses his field, did it on his own, and now Clinton Portis off to the races in what looked like it was going to be a 4-yard loss. He's all the way down to the 48 of Florida State. 27 yards he gained when it looked like he was dead in the water.
Yes. Clinton Portis waiting his turn with all the good running backs at the University of Miami have had there in the last few years. This year, it's his year. He gets to start, play as much as he can. Look at this play. Now they're coming back. Look at the wall of blockers. 74 is Haji Razuli. Linemen are hungry.
Let's check in. John Saunders in New York. John. And you know what's amazing about that? Bobby Bowden told us a couple of weeks ago, before they were originally scheduled to play Georgia Tech, he said, I'm more worried about Clemson at Clemson than I am Georgia Tech here. So that ain't going to be an easy one in Death Valley either for Florida State. And Florida State's schedule all of a sudden starts looking pretty tough because it looks like they're going to lose their second one. They got Maryland after Virginia. They're at Virginia next, then Maryland here, then at Clemson on the 3rd of November, and NC State, Florida, and Georgia Tech to wrap things up. And that's not an easy go. They put together so many 10-win seasons, 14 straight, that that starts looking in jeopardy already today.
Yeah, that's for sure. that business about finishing in the top 5 of the AP poll for 14 straight years, that streak's in jeopardy also.
Third down and long for Dorsey, who steps up in the pocket, has all kinds of time, and now he runs. And he knows just what to do with it.
I think
Get
that's
across
good.
that stick and hit the deck.
For Dorsey to show some of that, because the defensive book on him is that he'll throw quick, but he won't usually run across the line of scrimmage, and you got to do some of that every now and then. Break the book, break the code on you.
See some of the other scores around the country on the bottom of your screen. And it looks like that the last time Purdue beat Michigan at Michigan in '66 is still going to belong to my partner to my right, because
we did that 3 years in a row. So
the Boilers are not going to do it, I don't think, at the Big House today.
Yeah.
Now Miami content to try to chew some clock and let their running backs, in this case McGahee, carry it.
You know, Bobby Bowden told us last year when we were doing some of his games, with all those seniors that he had, he says, this is our last best chance.
Yep.
They got into the championship game. As Swanee said, they were in it 3 years in a row, 4 of the last 5 championship games, and Bobby knew that 16 starters would be graduating off his offense and defense, and he said that last year was our last best chance. There's only 5 starters on Florida State that started this game that started last year's game against Miami.
That one tipped and broken up
due to injury and graduation and all that other stuff. Only 5 players that started last year started this year for the Seminoles.
And a total difference of 56 guys that played last year against Miami, only 26 of them playing for Florida State today. So it's a different team. And then when you, and we're not making excuses for Florida State, but facts are facts. They've had probably their worst injury streak that they've ever had as well. And when you lose Anquan Bolden and Robert Morgan, your top 2 receivers, within a week of each other before the season ever starts, you know it's going to be a long haul.
It was going to be a tough year for Bobby anyway because of breaking in a new quarterback. All 3 of their quarterbacks on their roster have never taken a snap in a ball game.
Offense, 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
Couple of penalties today against Miami has been about the only thing that seems to have gone wrong for them. We talked about Florida State's injuries, and Bolden and Morgan weren't the only ones. Eric Powell would have been a starting defensive end, was shot in a robbery attempt in his hometown. Chris Woods, Castillo, and Duhart on the offensive line. Willie Reed was a true freshman that probably would have played some at wide receiver. And you go down the list.
Yeah, that's taking some depth out of the lineup if they're not starting.
Third down long. Dorsey going to have to roll a little bit before this throw. Look out from behind. Boy, he got that throw off, and that's close to a first down, and I don't know how he threw it back that direction while he was getting hit, but he got it there. And they might have to measure this thing.
He's saying, when I'm rolling this way, come this way. He was talking downfield to some of his receivers. It's a blitz up the middle, and he just has good mobility. He could have given the ball off right up ahead there to, I think that was Sands.
Check in with Swanee.
Well, Brad, Andre Johnson, number 5, the wide receiver, went into the locker room. He's cramping up, and he's not back out in the ball game. Of course, Darryl Jones with his left ankle sprain will probably not come in because the score is 49-20. But keep in mind, the starters for Miami haven't ever played a full game this year. They haven't gone into the fourth quarter feeling like they've had to keep their frontline people and pushing them all the way. It's not a real good sign that Johnson leaves the field because he's cramping up.
It's a good point, Swanee, but they're not going to need him this fourth quarter either.
If the score was different, that would really have a bearing, though, because their top 2 receivers are out. They still got Sands and Gethers and Beard and those guys, but right now just a lone wide receiver because they're trying to pick up 4th down and inches. And it's Dorsey. Whoop, he got popped at the line. I don't think he got it.
Now, there's a flag. He didn't get set before. It's on Miami. But as we move through October, the humidity is going to be not so bad. It's going to get into coolness, and you wouldn't think that they'd be cramping up as much.
They unpile all the bodies, the flags on the field. And here's the call.
Illegal shift on the offense. The penalty will be declined. First down.
And that turns the ball over to Florida State. Larry Coker says, up, they did something wrong there.
The man in motion right here does not get set, so he doesn't get set.
They've had that 2 or 3 times called today. It's always been the tight end, either Shockey or Robert Williams. They got to get that down a little more, better timing. And so Florida State huddles on the sideline, and they'll come out trailing by 29 with 24 seconds left in the third quarter. It's going to need offense and a lot of it in a hurry for Florida State to get back in this thing. Ricks across the middle. Maddox on the run. Rick's done a nice job today, both as a runner and a receiver. He's got a first down. Pick up of 18 this time.
First down, Florida State.
Defense spread out, rush the passer. Maddox comes right through, makes a move on Vilma. I like that route. I think teams need to throw to their backs more. I mean, it's, as I've said this before, if you can hit your backs and tight ends and over the middle, little option routes, you can move down the field.
At the 47-yard line of first down. From the gun, Ricks again, he chooses Bell on a crossing pattern, and Bell doesn't go down until he gets close to the 40. That is going to. We got a couple guys slow to get up there.
I think Big Wilfork came down and just leveled one of his own.
Might have gotten Buchanan.
Yeah, he was aiming for a no, but the no went down and he hit Buchanan. That's the big boy, the big freshman.
Will Fork will travel. I'll tell you that much.
Will Fork will eat.
And that ends the third quarter. Everybody can take a breather. We played 3, 49-20. Top-ranked Miami leading Florida State. ABC Sports presentation of college football will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, oh boy.
We could have just erased those 2 special teams touchdowns. We'd still have a game.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
Our 6 o'clock flight is in jeopardy. This is somebody down here is telling me this game is always a long football game.
Oh, sure it is. It's all because of the penalties and the passing.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention, please. We're still looking for our winner from AirTran Airways. If you're holding a ticket for the following seat, you're the winner. Section 9, row 78, seat 30. That's section 9.
You ought to show.
Seat 30. Congratulations. Please meet the marketing representative inside the gate.
There we go.
Forget AirTran Airways. New non-stop service.
No. That's a security guy. Big Ed. I do, yeah. He's had some scotch. He's had some scotches in my house.
I was going to say, I've met that guy.
Yes, sir. Big Ed. Oh, yeah.
Who are you guys looking for?
Keel. Art Keel. There's a couple guys that look like him. That guy there on the left, right here, is the special teams coach. You ought to maybe show him too. He had a good day.
In the last 16 years, when they're up at the end of 3, they're up at the end of 4, 143 times.
Looking pretty good here today.
Sure are. Up by 29. We start the fourth quarter. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, and Lynn Swan with you from Tallahassee. Chris Ricks will take off with this one. Nice move in the open field. Tripped up. Buchanan is the guy that hit him first. And he bounced forward.
Chris Ricks on the keeper.
Picked up 7.
Miami's up by what? 29 points. This is Chris Ricks. This is all good work for Chris. I mean, you're playing a quality opponent, one of your rivals. You're probably not going to win this game, but this is good work for Ricks. Keeping him in, letting him make some reads, because if you can move the ball and score on this defense, you can. Any defense you play this year is not going to be as good as this one.
That's a good point. From the gun, here they come on the corners of the blitz. Jump pass, that won't go. He jumped, and Jerome McDougal brought him down.
Well, that, you know, all this stuff on tape, sitting in on Sunday or Monday when they go over, he'll learn from all of this stuff. He'll say, all right, the guys are coming upfield. I stepped up in the pocket. Now I should have slid to the right. Oh, I don't want to do that again. I should never do that.
He's probably glad he landed on that foot, flat-footed, with his knee bent in the right direction.
Yeah.
3rd down and 10. 4 wide receivers again. As we'll see the rest of the way, Chris will take off with it again. Slipped one tackle, weaving his way, lost the football, but covered it. I think he's got a 1st down. He lost the handle, but he got to the 30.
Got a little of everything on that one, partner.
Man, we have had some of everything today. This has been a smorgasbord game if I've ever seen one.
You got a little of this, a little of that. Whoop, going in there, no going around. Go scramble. Going to cut inside here. Got a 1st down. Oh, no, we got a fumble. Nope. A turnover. No, not a turnover.
They're going to bring the sticks out. I think he got it, but let's see what the chain gang says. Yeah, he got it. 1st down.
He's been hit a lot today, Ricks has. He's been sacked 5 times by that Hurricane defense. They came in with 14 sacks on the year. That led the conference, the Big 8 conference in sacks.
Chris is huffing and puffing, as well he should be.
Yeah.
Now they got a 1st down at the 30.
Look at him. He's breathing hard. He said, I don't want to throw a pass. Let's run a draw. I'm too tired to throw a pass.
Waits and now takes off again. Oops, he's trying to direct traffic and got leveled by Wilfork. Look at the size of that guy. He gets bigger as the game goes.
Yeah, I mean, and he's, you know, this guy must be good, Wilfork, because they've got a lot. They got 7, 8, 9 defensive linemen, and this kid is a true freshman, is in there playing. Look at him. Look at his footwork.
The dancing bear.
Yeah.
That's the 6th sack of the day for Miami. 2nd down and 12. A little over 12 to play. The scoreboard and the clock, both Florida State's enemies right now. Ricks rolls and now wants to go deep. Double coverage down there. It's intercepted again. Edward Reed's got his 2nd. Reed's got 2. Buchanan's got 2. And Reed also has a block punt that led to a touchdown.
Well, he's throwing to some pretty good guys anyway.
Yes,
Next year when he sees these guys in the NFL, he's going to say, hey, that guy picked off a couple of mine. Yeah, that wasn't so bad after all.
Penalty marker in the backfield.
After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense. Penalty will be half the distance to the goal. 1st down.
It's still post-play penalty, so the possession stays with the Miami Hurricanes on the turnover again. Reed and Buchanan just too much back there in the secondary.
Reed's a 4-year starter. This is his 43rd start, so he's been doing this for a long time.
Well,
let's put up the Miami schedule. How about that? No, you put up Florida State.
all right.
I love that.
Jeez.
I love that.
When he thought it would get blocked, he rolls in for the touchdown. just part of a 49-20 lead for the top-ranked team in the country. Now they work from their own 10-yard line. McGahee's going to be dragged down for about a 4-yard loss. The reason they're working from the 10, remember, after the interception in the end zone, which would have put it at the 20. By number 20, they had the penalty, which is half the distance to the goal. And I think probably Ed's done for the day, I'd say.
Well, he's done for the day. You see him taking off his pads, and he's had a tremendous day. The 2 interceptions, and I'm pretty sure he's banged up that right shoulder a little bit. But, you know, remarkable young man. He did not have to come back for this year. They said he would have been a first-round draft choice, an excellent player. They rated him highly in the National Football League, but he said he wanted to come back because he wanted to have fun. He said the pro football side of things is a job. He says you do it for the pay. He talked about guys like, you know, Edgerrin James and other people he had talked to, and they talk about it being a job. And he said he wanted to come back one more year, enjoy the college experience, maybe help his team get to a national championship game, but he knew he could not come back after he left, so he stayed.
And he's got 16 career interceptions, which is closing in on Benny Blade's school mark of 19.
We had 3 of them back for touchdowns. He also recovered that punt that was blocked.
Oh, he blocked the punt.
Well, he blocked the punt, and Fitzgerald got it.
3rd down and 5 from the 15. Dorsey, quick drop, throw, complete, 1st down. To the 25. Man, you can hear some headgear hitting some pads way up here. Still, with 11 minutes left and Florida State down, and that guy has not given up today. There's been a lot of meetings with the Pope by the Hurricane players today. And I don't think he's given out any blessings.
Yeah.
1st down, Miami.
We talk about that offensive line. Here's the offensive line coach, Art Kehoe. Been there 21 years at the University of Miami.
Fumble. Florida State's got it. Travis Johnson covers the ball.
He's a young redshirt freshman. Backup defensive tackle. That's the 2nd turnover for the Hurricanes.
And again, bad exchange. Quarterback and center. And Johnson's in the right place at the right time. FSU's got it back, but they trail by 29. Don't forget, coming up next, big game in the Pac-10, the Huskies and the Bruins. Some of you will see Wisconsin and the Buckeyes in the Big Ten. Here it's 49-20 with 10:40 left. After the fumble recovery, Florida State's got it at the Miami 24. And it's Jones about the 21.
Saw Ed Reed taking off his shoulder pads and his jersey, and some of his had some padding taped down to his shoulders.
Did everything but take a shower, and he's back out there.
The reason he's back out there is because the defensive unit does not want any points scored against them any more than they have to. They pride themselves in being the defense that's given up the least points.
Nice play fake, and now Rick's in trouble, and the ball is loose again. Florida State, I think, covered it back up at the 35, even though it's still squirting around down there. And Ricks is slow this time to get up. 7th sack against Chris. 5 turnovers, a long day at the office.
Williams is 99. I don't know if he gets him. Yeah, that's him. Puts him right in the ground. The ball comes out. Chris has got to learn that when you're scrambling around or in the pocket, to protect the football. That's about 3 times today that he's dropped the ball when he's scrambling or in the pocket. We saw that with him a couple times when we did the game up in North Carolina.
That's right. 3rd down at 22. Steps up in the pocket this time and goes out and almost intercepted again. Lewis got a hand on it. Atruz Bell was the intended receiver. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Cadillac, the fusion of design and technology. New Nivea for men aftershave balm, more evolved skincare. Budweiser, with a crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. And Pacific Life, annuities, insurance, investments. Discover the power of Pacific Life. And right now the Seminoles discovering the power of the #1 team in the country, Miami, as Adrian McPherson warms up right now. May get an opportunity to see some time here against the #1 team in the country. Chris Rick says back to throw on 4th down and long. And goes long. Thorpe is out there. Probably should have had it. Buchanan was back there defensively, and it went through Thorpe's hands.
Thorpe is an outstanding receiver, just a true freshman, one of the guys that's going to be really good around here, going against Buchanan, who's really a good player.
29-point lead, and now the Hurricanes will take over after having their starters out there to try to prevent a score, and they did just exactly what they had hoped to do with a 49-20 lead. There's a fan that's not giving up. Garnet and gold forever. So Miami now at the 35-yard line. Here's Portis. Big opener for Clinton, and he's still on his feet inside the 40, down the sideline. Portis all the way down to the 20. Now he's been waiting for a big one all day, and he just got it.
He just got it. It's 117 yards on the day.
What was that deal with his lineman this one? He told us he had to get 100 and how much before he took him out to dinner?
I don't know. I think he gets over 100. He takes him out to dinner.
It's 150, boy. It's 150. And when he played against Pitt a few weeks ago, he only had about 133, but he scored 3 touchdowns. And he said, well, 3 touchdowns and 133, that's like 150. So he took him out to dinner that night, too.
Well, if he gets a call here again, he might be having to dig in his wallet and take those big eaters out. They'll give it to him again. Portis broke a couple tackles. He's down inside the 15. Yeah, it could be chow time for the Biggins.
Well,
I don't know where he gets that much money to take those guys out. Now, if you took the receivers and backs out, you got a chance to pay.
Well, it depends on where you're going, you know.
Yeah, that's true.
There's Keogh. He likes this. Art Keogh, I said he was at Miami for 21 years. He has 4 championship rings. He was there with Schnellenberger was there and won the championship in '83. He was there with Jimmy Johnson and won in '87. He was there with Dennis Erickson in '89 and '91 when they won championships.
He's a fixture.
He's a fixture.
McGahee will come in now, and he'll get it on a counter and tripped up.
Brad, Bob, I just want to throw one more thing in there about Portis and going out to dinner. I read one of the articles and it said, well, what if you took him out to a restaurant and it cost, as you were kind of hinting to, Bob, about $400 for the meal? He said, well, if it costs $400 for the meal, then my lineman better be a lot faster because we're all going to have to get up and run.
Dine and dash. Oh, boy. Well, the Miami fans are going to go home happy. 118 second half yards for Portis. McGahee in there in his stead. Now it's 3rd down and about 3. And whistles, flags. 7:26 left in this one.
Prior to the snap, delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
I bet you coming out of this, Larry Coker, it's going to be the one negative he's going to have to say about this. We still have too many penalties.
Well, that's true, but Miami has always had that in this game. And let's throw some kudos Larry Coker's way. I mean, because, you know, last year when Butch Davis left, they looked around, and they said, well, we'll just give it to Larry Coker. You know, we'll end up giving to Larry Coker and give him the job. Well, he's done everything right. He went up to Penn State. He took care of the situation. He took care of the situation here. You know, he's doing everything right. I'm sure that if he wasn't doing everything right, everybody'd be on him. So I think I've been very impressed the way he's handled the whole situation.
He's the first Miami head coach in 25 years to be elevated from an assistant position. And as I mentioned earlier, he waited 22 years to become a head coach. I love what Phil Buchanan, one of the guys that's been a star defensively today with a couple interceptions. He says, you know, coach isn't any different. He just drives a lot nicer car. Another penalty with 7:04 remaining.
Illegal shift on the offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
And they've had some illegal shift penalties today, that's for sure. And out comes the field goal unit. Todd Severs was going to try one earlier when Capshaw took it from his foot and got out of there for a touchdown. He's 10 out of 12 on the year. This will be a 35-yard field goal attempt. Bad snap again. Again, Capshaw, but this time he loses it. And this will be Florida State going the other way. Michael Boulware will take it the distance. Touchdown, Seminoles.
Snapper was hurt. Now the new guy's in.
This is Fatagrassi after Chris Harvey went out hurt.
Yeah. So you don't know what you're missing until the guy's not there. Here's a look at the snap. Bad snap, too far away. You'd rather snap the ball into the holder than away from him.
And Michael Boulware, nobody's going to catch him. I don't care if he's a linebacker or not. He can outrun most wide receivers. 73-yard touchdown.
It was a high school wide receiver that came here and moved to linebacker. There aren't many that do that.
So it's 49-26 with the extra point upcoming. And Florida State has to take a timeout. You know what? Boulware maybe is a guy that should have been on the extra point team, and he's all gassed.
That's right.
Because they're a man short. So Boulware says, well, we used the timeout. I'm coming back anyway. But this is the reason he's tired, because that ball came loose, and he went 73 yards in a hurry. It's 49-26. Michael Boulware with a touchdown. And doing that number 58 jersey proud. He changed his number to 58 to match his big brother, who was an All-American here in '96 and now a stalwart with the Baltimore Ravens. Peter was an All-American, 7 years older than baby brother, who just took it 73 yards for a touchdown. Going to be a good player. Already is. Extra point.
They say he plays a lot like Derek Brooks. He can cover anybody out of the backfield.
Betier in for the point after. And it kicks up and good. And so that is point number 27. 49-27 with 6:53 remaining in the ball game. Swanee?
Oh, Brad, you know, you were talking about Boulware being a wide receiver in his past, and Mickey was talking to Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator for Florida State, was talking about how he's maturing as a linebacker, and said, you know, he'll be a great linebacker as soon as he gets some of that wide receiver out of him. We understand what Mickey meant, but I'm glad that he has a little bit of that wide receiver still left in him.
That's right.
You know, to make it to the goal line.
Yeah, Swanee looked at Mickey and said, "Thanks a lot, Mick." And Mickey said, "No, I didn't mean anything by that, Lynn."
One of the all-time greats right there. One of the best defensive coordinators around. It's going to be a tough year for him. He's got a lot of young'uns, a lot of injuries on his side. They lost 8 starters from last year to begin with.
All of the depth they don't have right now, though, will be deep next year when everybody's healthy and these guys are a year older. And the onside kick, I assume, is coming up. So we've got Florida State spread out in 2 different groups. Remember, I guess every 10 years you got to lose a home game. That would be the case as we look back to '91. Gino Torretta, November of '91, leading his team down. That touchdown. And then it set up an opportunity, though. Florida State, Jerry Thomas. Was it good? No. It was wide right. Bobby Bowden thought it was going through, but it was Dennis Erickson. That's the last time they've lost at home, 17-16.
That was the first wide right.
And there have been 2 since.
Yeah, we've done several games here over the years in that decade, and Florida State has won a lot of games against the University of Florida, against the University of Miami, and against a lot of other teams, Southern California, and, on a lot of the other teams that they've played over the years.
Bobby said to us yesterday, if we beat Miami, they're going to say Miami wasn't that good. If we lose to Miami, they're going to say I'm too old like Joe. So now the onside kick is coming. Stein will be the guy. Jesse, a sophomore, lined up to this near side. And the Good Hands team is up just on the side of the 50 for Miami. They got everybody bunched up there. Here comes the kick. It's not going to travel.
That was a good
It
kick.
did. Yes, it did, but they got it. I didn't think it was going to even get 10. It took one last hop.
Took that big hop, which the kicking team wants.
James Scott is the guy that took it on the big bounce. So it looks like Bobby Bowden's going to have to wait one more game, as we've seen Joe Paterno wait to tie Bear Bryant. He's going to have to wait one more game to tie Glenn Pop Warner, as the all-time list looks like that. And Joe is not gaining today because they're idle. Pop Warner 319, and then Bobby Bowden next at 318.
Bobby's 71 and Joe Paterno is 74, and this program is sailing pretty nicely, and Joe's having some problems, and I think the basic problem between this and that one is recruiting. If Joe is falling down in any area, I think it's the fact that he's not recruiting as well, not getting the players that he used to get. That's not the problem here. It's they get tons of recruits here. Bobby is one of the things he does best is sit in the kitchen and talk to Mama and get the
no doubt about that.
Players to come to Florida State.
There's a little difference in perception. Obviously, the recruiters try to use that against one another and against the two guys that are in their 70s. And while Joe is all over the field, still coaching like a madman like he always has, I think the perception is that he wouldn't be around there as long as Bobby would be around here. Plus, this is a wide open group. A lot of kids want to play football here because you throw it all over the field, and there's a lot of individuality, if you want to use that term, I guess, on the Seminoles.
Yeah. Yeah.
Washington, UCLA, and Wisconsin, Ohio State. For those of you still with us, that's what you'll be going to in about 6 minutes. Chris Ricks, tough day. Really tough day. Good kid, and he's going to be a good quarterback.
He is. They like him a lot. Learned a lot. And he'll learn once the film study.
Almost loose again.
It's
They're
the
having trouble with that exchange.
Third quarterback center exchange they've had today. The third problem.
Here's Miami's schedule. Now, we mentioned that Washington game down there on the 24th was rescheduled, and so that makes it pretty top-heavy down at the bottom. Boston College is no slouch either, and then Washington and Virginia Tech to round out November and December.
Washington and Virginia Tech are both undefeated. Boston College has only lost one game.
Punt is going to be a dandy all the way down to the 4-yard line. It's the second time they've buried Florida State at the 4 on a punt today. Capshaw doing a good job even as a runner. 5.5 minutes remaining in the ball game from Tallahassee. Brad Nessler, Bob Greasy, Lynn Swan with you. And Florida State will send in a new quarterback. Adrian McPherson, the freshman out of Bradenton, Florida. Mr. Football and Mr. Basketball last year as a senior. Phenomenal athlete, and might be a heck of a basketball player on FSU's team this year too. And he comes in a tough spot, knowing it's a lost cause at 49-27, and not only that, sitting at about his own 2-yard line.
That's the toughest.
And here's McManus. Rip shuffles outside. Going to get a first down, I think. They're pretty close to it. Sean Taylor made the tackle. Chris Ricks' day's done. Intercepted 4 times, beat up, sacked 7.
222 yards and had some good rushing yards to boot.
Just wonder, had his beginning gone better. Those first, as we mentioned, he was 2 for 12 to start. He just couldn't find anybody, whether it's short, long, or in between. And sometimes when that happens, you never really recover. And though he did put a good second quarter together to make it a ball game of 21-13 at halftime, that was as close as they were going to get. McPherson scrambles out to the 19-yard line. Picked up 6.
Quarterback draw all the way. Brad, let's go back to what we were talking about at the very open about the lack of respect that Miami had been getting. You know, this unofficial BCS poll that the real poll is not going to be coming out until I think a week from Monday.
Week from Monday, right?
And this unofficial one had the Hurricanes down to 13. Their opponent's total record was only 3-14. You know, it's not Miami's fault. You know, their non-conference teams this year, University of Washington, Florida State, Penn State, those 3 pretty good teams.
Not to mention you make up those schedules back when Penn State's a power. So
nobody knew Penn State was going to be a weak sister. Washington is still undefeated. Florida State is normally one of your top 3 or 4 teams in the nation.
And
but next year the schedule gets worse for Miami. Not only do they keep
got Florida, don't they?
Florida State, but they play at Florida and at Tennessee.
Oh boy, yeah, that's not going to be easy. Guy that's down is Jerome McDougal, the defensive end for the Canes with 4:19 left. Here's talking about good teams. The Florida Gators. Rex Grossman is as hot as anybody in the country. Travel into Auburn to take on the Tigers. That's tonight, 7:45 on ESPN. That'll be a good game, and that'll.
Auburn's kind of mixed them up in the past.
Yes, they have, and you never know how some of the voters may or may not change their mind after this Miami win that is upcoming in a few minutes. Pretty impressive over a good opponent on the road like this.
No question.
And we'll see what Florida does with Auburn tonight.
I have not seen a weakness in Miami here today. Their offense has been strong. The defense is very aggressive and got some turnovers, got some touchdowns. Their special teams have been good.
The only thing that they can't do, and they keep doing it, and you said they have always been that way, but Swanee was talking with us about it during the last break. You just can't give up 127 free yards and penalties and then play somebody like, let's say it's Oklahoma at the end of the year or somebody like that. You give up a whole field and a half by mistakes, and it's going to get you.
It's going to hurt you somewhere along the line. You may win most of your games doing that, but when you get in a crucial game, a big game, it's going to cost you. And a lot of those penalties, I mean, you can live with them if they come with a defense, but if they come on the offensive side where you're stopping yourself, illegal motion, holding.
False start, offense, 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Yeah, like that one, like a false start or a holding penalty. You
illegal
throw a touchdown.
shifts. They've had 4 of those.
Yeah,
today.
you throw a touchdown pass, or the 3 missed center quarterback exchanges. I mean, that for sure has to get out of the offense for them to be a championship team.
And Florida State with another penalty. That's a 24th penalty we've had in the ball game. McPherson steps up and just takes off. And he's run down by Jamal Green from behind. Now, the last time Florida State was an underdog on their home field, you have to go back 5 years just to find that, and it was top-ranked Florida. And they beat Florida 24-21 in that one. So this is a #1 team coming in, also favored, and this time history's not going to repeat itself as Miami will head back to South Florida with a pretty impressive victory. 2nd down and 12. And McPherson in for Chris Ricks. Adrian scans the field, throws a pass out in the flat to Jones across the 20 to the 21-yard line. A little over 3 minutes left. The reason we're showing you that guy, looks like he's got cobwebs all over him, set for Halloween. That's Ed Reed, and he is one of our players of the game. Today's Chevrolet players of the game, Ed Reed and Bradley Jennings. Jennings had 14 tackles and a fumble recovery. Reed had 2 interceptions and a blocked punt that went for a touchdown. And in recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund. 3rd down 13, under 3 minutes left in this one. I got to give the Florida State fans credit. I guess they know they're going to get stuck in traffic anyway, but they haven't gone home. At least most of them. Gardner makes a catch over the middle as he did earlier for a touchdown. This one's good for 19 yards. Near record crowd, 2nd largest ever. And from yesterday afternoon through the downtown Get Down party last night and all the way through this morning in the tailgating, it's been a colorful day for the Seminoles and some of the Hurricanes folks. And the Hurricanes folks definitely aren't going anywhere. They're still in their orange and green over there in that corner having a great time.
The little swatch over there.
McPherson play action. Adrian lofts one, and Javon Walker, the intended receiver.
It looks like it's going to be an unusual year for Florida State. They're 3-1. We'll go to 3-2. You know, there's a lot of years that they only lose one game, and I think their chances of losing another game, maybe at Florida or somewhere else down the road to an ACC team, might be pretty good. So this might be a year where Bobby loses 3 games.
You know, they have to go back to '85 to find them be not favored in 4 different games, and that year they upset Nebraska, but they lost to Auburn, Miami, and Florida. And who knows, the ACC is going to get awfully interesting. And as Bobby was telling us, you know, until people start beating us consistently nationwide, they're not going to think of the ACC as a football conference because nobody can beat Florida State. Well, now they have lost a conference game this year, and they're about to lose to their interstate rivals, and they're going to fall to 3-2, and that's pretty rare around here.
Yep.
But Ralph Friedgen's got Maryland playing great. You saw the highlights from Clemson today that John had for us.
Georgia Tech comes here.
Yep, Georgia Tech comes here. We'll see Georgia Tech and North Carolina State next week. And Georgia Tech has gone from thinking BCS to thinking how do we win at home without losing in overtime. They've lost back-to-back games in overtime in Atlanta. So they're 6 points away from being undefeated, but they've got to try to put things back together. Thorpe with a catch in the first down. And we're down to a minute and a half.
All the freshmen in there, PK, Sam, Thorpe, McPherson. Just getting a little experience.
1:18 left. Even on the ground, heading outside. Nice move by Aaron Shelton, the freshman out of Lexington, Kentucky. Swiveled his hips out there. Flags down as he got 15. And here comes penalty number 20, what, 5, 6? We like to get anywhere between 25 and 50 penalties in every game we do, and our officiating crews normally hold that up for us.
Oh, boy.
Personal foul on the offense, 15-yard penalty.
You and I and Swanee could start our own laundry. We've seen so many flags this year.
Where's this group from? This is Big East?
That must be a Big East group, I guess. And we've seen more personal fouls than you normally see in a month. And that happens sometimes in this matchup, and it happens sometimes when Florida State plays Florida as well. This one's a little, I don't know if this one's chippier than the other one or not.
It's one thing. It's being consistent. It's coming up on 4 hours. That the game it'll be about a 3-hour and 50-minute game. Lots of passes, lots of penalties.
McPherson from the shotgun. Miami still blitzing. He's trying to run away from part of that blitz. And he lobbed it. Got it complete. A true spell.
Which is one thing I think that the NCAA and the colleges need to look at. The NFL has done that. They've gotten their games down to about 3 minutes, an average of 3 minutes, and 3 hours and 5 minutes. And
right.
The NCAA, their average game I think is like 3 hours and 20 minutes, something like that. Just to find some ways to speed up the game. Everybody's for it. The coaches just don't want to give up any plays. You shorten the game, they're going to shorten some of their plays.
I don't know why going from 86, 87 plays down to 82 would kill anybody. Right. McPherson back to throw. Whoa, too high, intended for Walker. And we're down to 29 seconds. Adrian McPherson, they think very highly of him too. They're going to have young quarterbacks. Next year, Ricks will be a redshirt sophomore. McPherson will be a sophomore. Anquan Bolden and Robert Morgan come back at wide receiver, which helps anybody as a quarterback. This was the year, as Bob mentioned earlier, that Bobby Bowden knew there were going to be some bumps in the road, and there's already 2 of them. About to be 2 of them. McPherson, quarterback draw, kept his balance, and then finally does slip as he gets inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. They're going to hustle up and try to get a Another touchdown here before this one's over to make it look a little better. 10 years from now, they'll never remember how they got to 34 or 5 points if they got there, but it would look better. And he stops the clock with 20 seconds. So the winning streak and the unbeaten streak will go by the boards here.
All those streaks we were talking about. Let me check the rushing yardage here. Florida State's going to win the rushing battle.
And so that one, for only the second time, will not determine the winner. Out of the last 13, we mentioned 12 times whoever led in rushing had won the game, but one streak that stays alive. Miami will win its 15th in a row, second only to Oklahoma's 18, the defending national champions. And so Washington still hasn't lost since that game at Washington we did last year. McPherson running for his life, scrambles around, gets to the 10. And that might be all she wrote. He's trying to line his troops up to stop the clock again. And he calls a timeout. That's the last timeout, so we're down to one play. Well, you can't blame Adrian. He wants to play.
Yeah, he wants to get another play in.
Meanwhile, we'll remind you one more time that we'll be going to either the Wisconsin-Ohio State game or Washington and UCLA. And speaking of Washington, the last time they lost, it was Marcus Tuiasosopo and company out in Seattle. And it's really the only bad game you can ever think of Ken Dorsey having. And Bob and I were talking about last night. He didn't have a terrible game, but he did get rattled at times. And in that loud stadium and with a good Washington team, they lost, but they haven't lost since.
You know, and he learned from that.
Yeah.
It's very similar to what Chris Ricks is doing here today. He's playing a very good, a top quality team, a top quality defense. And Chris Ricks is going to learn from this experience here today.
We're down to one play. And Larry can smile a little bit finally as Miami will go to 25-20 in this series that now spans 45 encounters. And there'll be a lot more good ones ahead of them. Maybe we found out today just how good Miami is.
I think we did.
3rd down and 7. McPherson down the middle. Incomplete. Still a play left. Oh, flag comes in. Philip Buchanan still out there. Some days just never end, Larry.
Well, he's done a good job. And
Yes,
like I was saying, you got to give him some credit. Because everybody, he was under the gun. Everybody was wondering if he could do it.
Pass interference on the defense. Ball will be placed at the 2-yard line. First down.
And you can be sure that the defensive starters who are not in there for Miami now do not want their backups, the reserves, to give up any more points.
2 seconds left to look at a meaningless penalty, but one that's got to be called nonetheless. Got tripped up a little bit.
You got to call that.
You know, we already gave our Chevrolet players of the game, and we're not allowed to give them to a group. Well, let me say something about McKinney, Haji Razuli, Romberg, Bibla, and Gonzalez. You guys can not only eat, you can play football. That offensive line of Miami's again today sensational, and the Hurricanes remain undefeated and untied and maybe no longer unrespected. They win it. 49-27 is the final. Coming up next on ABC Sports, our college football doubleheader will continue. You'll see Washington battle UCLA or Wisconsin against Ohio State. As Bobby Bowden and Larry Coker meet at midfield, it's Miami a winner. Once again, our final 49-27. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Keyword ABC Sports. Now for Bob Dreese and Lynn Swan, I'm Brad Nessler. So long from Tallahassee, Florida. The streak has come to a close.